Is it sane? Is it possible? Still I ask myself, are we, am I? Our game, it's not logical, but you contemplate, are we, am I? I think it's sane, I think it's logical. What I don't you find? Are we, am I? As time goes by, I'll be a slip away. Should I do you mind? Are we, am I? I'm fighting for love, raise me up and see my willingness. I'm fighting for love, raise me up and see my willingness. This is the way that I still play. Tell me why you lied to me. Fighting for love, raise me up and see my willingness. I'm fighting for love, raise me up and see my willingness. Fighting for love. Raise me up and see my willingness. I'm fighting for love. Raise me up and see my willingness. I'm fighting for love. Raise me up and see my willingness. I'm fighting for love. Raise me up and see my
Oh, baby, who's ready for the Callie Yarncroke show? Let's go. I don't know if I'm ready for it. I'm not really sure. I'm begging Sportsnet though to start a game on time. This is a 7:30 game. It's now 7:37. My bet is the game's going to start at 7:42. Begging Sportsnet and the NHL, begging them to start on time. I'm begging them to stop televising the anthem. Listen, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying, can we stop it? Like, there's no entertainment value to the anthem. You've got a good enough panel that you can carry some time. What are we doing? That's Bad TV says, Adam, you need to be on time. Sportsnet needs to be on time. Me be on time. I almost spilled coffee on myself. I'm a spicy boy today. Hey, I have not had a chance to have a look at the Lightning lineup, but if I'm not mistaken, Point is back. There's no Cirelli, so it's only three centers playing tonight. Hagel, Point, Kucherov on the top line. Gensel, Dominic James, and Gage Goncalves. I never say his name right. On the second line. Gergensen's Gord, Holmberg. Holmberg can play center, but he's going to play wing, at least there. And then Sabrin and Bjorkstrand. Bjorkstrand can play center as well. But they did dress Emil Lilleberg, so they are dressing 7 defensemen. My assumption for the reason for that is Victor Hedman, who is also in the lineup, apparently, is hurt and probably doesn't want to play all that much. So I'm not sure what kind of team the Toronto Maple Leafs are playing tonight, but I guess we'll see. And I am concerned a little bit here, guys, because all the reports are suggesting that the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to do the dumbest thing on the timeline, which is let's look at the next 4 or 5 games and see how we're going to do, and then we'll take it from there. Let me tell you who they're playing. First off, the busted and beat up Tampa Bay Lightning, who are amazing this year, right? So they'll give them a good run tonight. I don't know what kind of Toronto Maple Leafs show up tonight, I'll be honest. Then you got Leafs-Panthers tomorrow night. Now, that will be the second half of a back-to-back, but the Panthers are beat to hell, and they are not making the playoffs. And that's okay. They'll be fine. Then you got the Senators on Saturday, who are also probably not making the playoffs. And then next week, before the trade deadline, 3 more games. Flyers Leafs March 2nd. That's Monday. Devils Leafs March 4th. That's Wednesday. Rangers Leafs March 5th. Flyers are not going to make the playoffs. Devils probably will, but they've been really shaky and bad. And the Flyers are not making the playoffs. Oh, no, the Devils are for sure not making the playoffs. What am I talking about? I didn't realize they were that far out of it. 58 points. Yuck. Holy shit. Are the Devils that bad? So the Leafs are going to play over the next week the 3 worst teams, 4 worst teams, 5 worst teams in the conference. The Senators, who are currently tied with the Leafs, they're 5th worst. The Flyers, who are 4th worst. The Panthers, who are 3rd worst. The Devils, who are 2nd worst. And the Rangers, who are the worst. And then we're going to go, you know what? Our future is decided by that. We're going to play the shittiest teams in our conference, and that's how we're going to make trades. We're not going to sell. No. If we beat the big guys, we go through the ringer the next couple of weeks. That's how we make our call. Jeez. Holy moly. Listen, this is going to be, and a lot of you were with me through so many great streams. We had the American streams, we had the Swedish streams, we did the Slovak-Finland game, we did some crazy games during the Olympics. And I will tell you that I'm not totally sure I'm ready to come back and watch this. But we don't have a choice. I'm not sure you are either. Who's ready for Riley Myers? I'm so pumped. I'm kidding. It's actually Riley Benoit today. We need to talk about this. In practice, at least, it was Riley Benoit. Now, it appears Riley has been moved back with Carlo. Riley Carlo, McCabe Ekman-Larsson, Benoit Stetcher. Matthews is playing tonight. There he is, taking the opening faceoff. And we're about to get underway here. And Matthews actually wins it against Yanni Gord. And off we go. The NHL is back, baby. McMahon, Matthews, Domi on the first line. Michelli, Tavares, Nylander, Nyes, Waugh, Robertson on the third. And Lorentz, Lawton, and Callie. Yes, they scratched Easton Cowan, Yarncroke on the fourth line. Easton Cowan, by the way, has not played a game since January 29th. You think that's good for his development? Yeah, me neither. I'm sorry. I started tonight with a bit of a bee in my bonnet. I'm frankly, a little frustrated with the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. I hope they win. Go Leafs, go. I'm rooting for you. But what the hell are we doing here? And by the way, welcome back, everybody. I love you and thank you for being here. David Owen says, not used to the game starting 15 minutes late. I know. Wasn't that nice when it started on time? Kucherov, into point, shot. And that's Anthony Stoller's first save since the beginning of February. Nylander is also in tonight, which is good because, there was a little bit of injury concern during the Olympics. He wasn't practicing all that much. I kind of get the sense, too, that he was like, practice with Sam Hallam as my coach? No, thanks. Shot from the point. Leafs get their first shot. And we're about a minute in here. Braden Point's going to bring this across. Man, I always forget that the angle on the Tampa Bay games is just so radically weird and different than sort of what we're used to. So it's a different angle. It's weird. Denise Campbell says, Cassie, react to Crosby yet? Thought of her first. Cassie has not been here yet, but I'm sure we will hear from her, and I'm sure she will be sad. Drew, who's doing the chat tonight? Rob. Okay. Rob Malloy on the chat tonight. Drew, producer Drew, who got tweets from Elliot Friedman and Eric Johnson just yesterday. Eric Johnson, Colorado Avalanche, great. Drew, listen, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Drew's the big deal. Okay? Drew's the big deal on the Twitter. Just causing shit. Causing shit. Warrior Womp says Leafs just terrible at developing players. Hey, there's some notable exceptions. Matthew Nyes. That's the name I got. That's all I got. I'm ready. I'm fired up. DT says, Adam, ODog gave the grippers for free on Overdrive today. Your move. Yo, is ODog stealing my bit? I think he is. I think he's stealing my bit. You know what, Jeff? I'm coming for you. You watch out. I'm going to start stealing your bits too. I don't know. All right. Now, this is, what's interesting too about the rate of play here? And this is going to be a sloppy game. Oh, big save by Anthony Stolarz off Brandon Hagel. A lot of these guys haven't played hockey since February 5th or before. So the play I would expect to be sloppy. I would expect to be a bit choppy and slow. Mr. C37, is the pod coming today? You bet your butt. You bet your ass it's coming today. It's actually already out for our VIP subscribers. So if you have a green name, you can already listen. If you're a VIP ad free, that is. Pretty soon it will come out for everybody else as well. So big discussion today. It was one of those ones that you're kind of like, oh my God. Listen, we have a great job. We're very, very lucky. But there are times where you go, I don't want to talk about this. And you know exactly what I didn't want to talk about. And we did. We did. Matthews through center. Here we go. Matthews playing with some different line mates now. It's not Boldy and it's not Gensel anymore. It's Domi and soon to be traded, hopefully, maybe, Bobby McMahon. Heather the As fan dropping 10 SDPN memberships. We love you, Heather. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Everybody, please thank Heather if you got a VIP membership. Big save by Stolarz. Back to the point to Darren Radish, who's got to be the most surprising player in the NHL this season. Did you pick him up in fantasy? I wish I had. Kucherov. Oh, great move. Oh, to Michelli. Michelli does nothing. Point just walked in there. Michelli was like, yeah, sure, do whatever you need. I'm curious to see which version of Matthias Michelli we get in this part of the season. Because, here comes Nylander. Shot. Nice little backhand. Turned aside. Because Matthias Michelli has been a tale of two players. There's the Matthias Michelli that played before the 9 games of scratching, and then there was the one that played after. Oh, and there's a beautiful goal. Wow. Kucherov scores, and that is just an insane pass and an insane play. That is Charles-Edouard Dastou. I hope I'm saying his name right. And if I'm not, I'll figure it out. Great pass into Kucherov. Absolutely zero Maple Leaf coverage. And that starts on a dump in by Victor Hedman. And you can see, where is McCabe on Kucherov? That's your man. You're the defensive specialist, Jacob. Where are you going? Drew said this is a little different than watching Team Canada's defense. No kidding. It's just so Jake McCabe's our defensive special. What are we doing here? We're going to have a challenge or a potential review. Maybe it doesn't matter. What's the review? And it doesn't look like it's a coach's challenge. It is a coach's challenge. Are they saying offside here? It might be on the Victor Hedman dump in. You think it's going to be offside, Drew? Drew has a lot of faith because he's like, listen, the Leafs do not get these wrong. And yes, he's correct. But we couldn't be that lucky, could we? So who is in? Is it Kucherov that's in? Yeah, he's in. I think that's offside too. Yeah, watch Kucherov at the far blue line there. No goal. Kucherov, all he had to do was keep his skate on the ice there, and he didn't do it. All right. Hey, cool. Awesome. Listen, to Jake McCabe, you got away with one, sir, and I'm a big fan. Think you're a great defenseman. We gotta pick up our guy, especially if our guy is 86. Potential Hart Trophy winner. Good Lord. Yeah, Drew said he's been pissed that he's been not been able to play in the Olympics. He's like, it's not best on best. He's probably right. I mean, I slot Russia in third or fourth in that tournament, but he's right. They'd have great goaltending, no defense, good offense. Um, I think he's gonna be a very angry man. I think if you were to rank like blind ranking angry hockey players, the at very least the top two are going to be Kucherov and McKinnon. McKinnon because he definitely could have won Canada the gold medal. Kucherov because he couldn't play. And I don't know who maybe the third one might be, but there's going to be angry guys. Those are the two angriest guys in the NHL. Drew asked me if I thought McKinnon's stuffed animal made it back to Canada. I'd be shocked if that made it to where he sat in the dressing room. I'd be shocked if it made it to where he put his ass to whatever that weird plasticky stuff they put in on hockey benches. No chance. Thomas Cherry says recommended books for hockey history, also statistics book. I have Ken Dryden and Messier's, but that's it. I don't have any good statistic books on hockey. Let me just think of the best hockey books I've read. Give me a sec with that one. I'll come back to it. Radish. Download a Kucherov again. Leafs defensive coverage, predictably terrible. Running around in their own end, but they did grab it. Riley to Robertson. Robertson dumps the puck in. Robertson with a nice little interception there. Gets it to Matthews. They're in mid-change, so Robertson's going to go off. Domi's going to come on. The Toronto Maple Leafs, by the way, in case you're wondering, are 6 points currently out of a playoff spot and a great play in. Big save off of Bobby McMahon. The Toronto Maple Leafs it's not looking good to make the playoffs. 63 points. The Boston Bruins have 69. Nice. So that's a lot of points to make up in 25 games. I think I was listening to Jonas Siegel and James Myrtle, the Leaf Report, and they were saying they think they probably need to go like 16-8, win 2 out of every 3 games. It's not impossible, but it's not likely. Drew said he thinks that, or you saw that they could only have 7 more losses, eh? Okay. Okay. When we get to the commercial break, I'm going to answer the book question, but I already saw somebody mention Black Aces. And yes, you should read our book by the book by Julian McKenzie, Black Aces. You must. Okay, so we're coming back. Celtic Warrior says, Adam, you're sounding much better. I'm feeling better. I was feeling better last week too, but my voice was just not there. It comes in and out. Still not quite where we need it to be, but it's coming. Somebody said Stallers needs white pads. That'd be sick. That'd be a good look. I don't know why more goalies don't do that, except I guess they would get. I mean, look at Vasilevsky's pads. Even though they get marked up, it's not that bad. Justin says, was Matthews booed when he stepped on the ice? No. It's in Tampa. Why would they boo him? It's not like the Leafs are a threat. The Tampa Bay Lightning, by the way, lead the division by quite a large margin. The Leafs it's hilarious. The Leafs have 63 points. Tampa's got 78. They are 8-1-1 in their last 10 coming into the break. The Montreal Canadiens and Detroit Red Wings are currently tied for second in the division, and both of them are 6 points behind the Lightning. So, yeah, that's a damn good team. That's a damn good team. Titan in the Abyss says, drink water, Adam. Fine. I shall drink water. In the like it's interesting, you go away from the Olympics felt like they were fast, but they also felt like they were months long. I don't know how else to describe it. If you look at the Metropolitan, the Carolina Hurricanes are basically a lock, 78 points, just like the Lightning. But then you get the Penguins at 70, the Islanders at 69, and the Blue Jackets at 65 points. Same with the Caps. The Metro could be. I don't know if any Metro teams are going to get into the wild card, but to get into that third spot, and the Islanders have already made a couple of moves. They got Susie. They got somebody else before the break too. Who was that? From the Rangers. Was that Susie? They made another trade. They've made some moves. Not crazy moves, but Bobby says, Adam, tell producer Drew he's only a Colorado fan because of the Leafs. I don't know if I understand. Drew, I think, became a Colorado Avalanche fan because they were really good when we were growing up. Right, Drew? Oh, it was the discounted shirts at Walmart, and then you hated the Leafs because of your brother. Was your brother just the most annoying Leafs fan you've ever heard of, or? Okay. I love that. So Drew was 7 when he made that call, by the way. Oh, it was Palat, by the way, the Islanders got. Palat, who I love in the playoffs. He's not been great in the regular season lately, but he's been damn good in the playoffs. Sparta says, wait, they benched Cowan? Yeah. Hasn't played since Jan 29th. Real smart group of guys. Smart org. Super smart. So Michelli, Tavares, Nylander. I kind of wonder about Tavares in this back half of the year. I know it's the sort of the back third. Oh, we got a 2-0 here. Kucherov all alone, and Willie sort of not picking him up, but that's okay. Stolarz bails them out. I think it was Mikey Asimon had a shot on net after that. I was thinking to say, I wonder about Tavares after this because he had a nice little break in the season. He started the season red hot. Now he's fresh. Ekman Larson off the post and a great setup from Tavares. Is he primed to go on a hot streak again? Because they could really use him. He did kind of fall off there. Ashkova says the Lightning are 14-1-1 since Jan 1. They lost only 2 games, unrelated. The Canucks have only won 2 games since January 1st. Here comes Michelli to Nylander, and that is unable to be redirected in, but a good play all the same. So the Lightning, if the Leafs beat the Lightning tonight, it'll be their 3rd loss in 3 months, basically. It's almost March. That's crazy. Out comes Matthew Nyes. Gets it past Radish. Out front. Stetcher just kind of falls, tries to get the puck over. Lightning bring it back down in their zone. Leafs forechecking. Puck skirts. Ooh, almost a scoring chance there for Gensel, but Robertson's able to prevent a breakaway. Benoit. To Watt, to Nyes. Nyes is trying to get that puck deep so they can change. And Victor Hedman, who was not feeling good in that last game for Sweden, is feeling good enough to go tonight, and they're going to need him. I was sort of wondering who the Lightning would play if, Point was hurt, Leafs are offside. If Point was hurt, if Hedman was hurt, that's a lot. There's some good talent that would be sitting on the bench. Denise says, when you follow 2 sports, the Olympics. Oh, when you follow the 2 sports, the Olympics really flew. Oh, I didn't just follow the 2 sports. I was watching the rest of them. Producer Drew's kids will be Leafs fans. Meme Empress is putting together a circle for you there, Drew. Oh, apparently their mom's a Habs fan, so Drew says there's a better chance they're Habs fans. Oh no. Oh no. Raleigh gets the puck stripped. Shot out front. Ooh. Vintage Morgan Riley, guys. Listen, I'm not trying to be too negative, but holy moly. Already don't love what we're seeing in certain defensive aspects. The team is not great. Morgan Riley. Gets the puck. Flips it up. The Lightning get it. He flips it back down. Drew says very sloppy start for both teams. I could not agree more. I think this is the first shift, by the way, for the Lawton line. Scott Lawton, who was a spark plug for the Leafs for the only 3-week run that they had where they looked decent. I do think that Berube needs to play him more. It's bizarre that he doesn't. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Down to Scott Lawton. That pass goes through him. James Stemler, first game back, and I'm already back to accidentally cheering for the wrong team due to the fraudulent blue jerseys. It's true. By the way, the ice cam in the Tampa arena, I don't know if you guys have noticed, the one that gets super close to the ice, they did not white balance that camera. That is a bizarre shade of blue it turns the Leafs into. Bobby says Tampa needs new jerseys. They look like a scrimmage. It kind of does. I hate when the Leafs and Tampa play each other just for the similarities of the jerseys. I like when Tampa wears black jerseys. I think those are sick. They're one of the teams that I'm going to be like, all right, it's a black jersey. That's not creative or cool. But your team was one of the first teams to do it way back in the 90s. You guys are okay. Mr. Trickster says, Mr. Adam, I don't know who's who. Well, Mr. Trickster. Blue is Tampa. White and less blue are the Leafs. Bobby says, maybe we could pretend the Lightning are the Leafs. That's a good question for Lightning fans in the chat. Can we take your team? Can we co-opt your team to be our team? How do we feel about that? By the way, I know there was that super chat about hockey books. So obviously there's this one. There's also the Matt Sundin book, Home and Away. Matt's was nice enough to be on the show. And this is a very, very good book, especially if you're a Leafs fan. There's also, Steve brought this one in. Shift Work. This is one of Steve's favorite hockey books. Ty Domi, and he's very honest in it. I almost wonder what it would be like if it came out today. Because it came out, I want to say 12 years ago. Definitely worth checking this one out too. If you like if you like good stories, Ty's got good stories. Plenty of good books out there, but those are a couple that I would recommend. There's a couple of other ones that I've read. Specifically, there was the Ken Dryden book about Steve Monador, which was really, really good. And then there was the Ken Dryden book about the 1972 Summit series, which I have not read yet, but I've heard is fantastic. So you might want to check that out. I think they both are available in audiobook forms. Meme Empress, I want to get the silverback as much as the next guy, but y'all need to win a cup first. Also, you can, but only for the purpose of spitting the cats. I guess spitting the cats? Beating the cats, I'm assuming you mean. Yeah, I want the silverback in the Tampa Bay jerseys too. Feel like we need a little silver in those. Hexus says, go Leafs go from Hockeytown. Do we have a Detroit Red Wings fan in the chat? Or a Leafs fan in Detroit who's just, in there all by themselves? Oh, spite, not spit. Okay, cool. I can't read, that's all. Spiting? That would make sense. Lightning and Tavares are just kind of fighting away for it in the Leaf zone. It's sort of weird to be watching these guys again. I might say that a few times a night. Like it's weird. It's weird. The problem with the Leafs, here comes Riley with a shot, and he fans on it. Poor Mo. I don't want to feel like I don't want to seem like I'm picking on the man. You see that camera angle? Oh my God. White balance your camera and commercial breaks, folks. Is Tavares hurt? No, he's playing. Didn't look hurt to me. Lightning iced the puck. 8:42 left in the first period. Tyson Barnett, do the Leafs sign Jeff Skinner on a free? No. Jeff Skinner terminated his contract with the San Jose Sharks. If you remember from the start of the playoffs last year, the guy had never played in the playoffs, and I think the Oilers played him like twice or three times. And then he was in San Jose, and San Jose's a team on the up, but Jeff Skinner should be able to make that lineup, and he couldn't. I don't. We might be in, and I hate to say this, we might be in Cook territory there. We might be in. He just doesn't have it anymore territory. It's possible. So, I don't think so. Hexus says, I'm a Wings fan that loves the Leafs. Damn. I didn't know those existed. That's great. Yanaki says, is it weird that this hockey is way slower? No, it's kind of normal. Like it's funny. The Olympics were the best of the best. And so the rate of play was insane. The NHL is technically the best of the best too, but the Olympics are just that much better. Drew said Hedman was too hurt to play a single second 4 days ago. Now he's probably going to play like 30 minutes tonight. I know it's weird. I thought it was weird that he wasn't going to play. Sam Halam, man. By the way, the Swedish players coming back and talking about their ice time, that's some good tea. They were not happy with that guy. JB says, who still watches the Leafs? Well, you're here with us watching the Leafs. Leaf fans still watch the Leafs to our great sadness and depression. So I'm wondering about the Leafs at the trade deadline here. I started the show off tonight talking to you a little bit about like what the big plan is, right? Oh, it's a big plan. Ooh. Well, we're going to play after tonight the worst teams in the Eastern Conference, and we're going to decide based on that. Okay. So here's what I think they should do. If they were smart, the Toronto Maple Leafs would trade players for assets that could be traded later. Let's say you get a first-round pick for Bobby McMahon. I'm not saying you do, but maybe you do. Okay? You take that first-round pick, you can use it to draft with. Or if you're trying to be good now, you wait and see who shakes loose in June. Maybe you get a 2027 first. Oh, man, here we go. Out front, Domi. Maybe you get a couple of second-round picks. Maybe you get like the Kiefer Sherwood package where you get 2 second-round picks. You could take 2 second-round picks and, maybe Carlo gets you something. I don't know. Then you're in a buyer position and you can buy a piece. Like what is Dougie Hamilton really going to cost to get him out of New Jersey? They do need to dump salary, and they don't need 2 more years of Dougie Hamilton, and he kind of fits the Leafs window, and he would instantly be the power play quarterback and probably the best overall offensive defenseman they've had in a generation. One man's cap dump is another man's treasure, Ashoka says, to be fair, Skinner is 33. Usually about the time goalies tend to, it went away, tend to lose their mojo and step into backup roles. Yeah, I just don't know that Skinner, I feel like we have an assortment of guys playing wing. Yeah, Michelli and Joshua and, Domi and Lorentz. And I'm not trying to be insulting, but do we need another soft winger who is on the downside of their career who can't score anymore? I mean, you could get Mangiapane essentially for free in Edmonton. So, by the way, Emo Jalapeno dropping an SDPN membership. Thank you, Emo Jalapeno. Appreciate you. Sledge Hockey Clip says, is there an STP coming out today? It will be out very soon. It is already out on VIP. VIP ad free, that is. How about this? What do you guys think of the rumors about Bobrovsky potentially getting traded? I find that fascinating. He has not been signed to an extension. They're not going to make the playoffs. I think it was Jeff Merrick that was saying something along the lines of like San Jose could be interested there. 2 Russian goalies. I was like, man, I would never have thought that guy would get traded. But yeah, it's fascinating. I don't know. He's going to be like 38 this year at some point, whenever his birthday is. Are you really going to re-sign him in the offseason? I don't know. Jay Christner says, what about Bob to Edmonton? Yeah, that's interesting. I kind of like that. I think it'll be absolutely hilarious, actually. I don't know. There was just some speculation on that, and that name really surprised me. I was like, yeah, but he's like a Panthers legend. But they're ruthless, right? Meme Emperor says, dude, Bobrovsky is so old. My guy lived through the Byzantine Empire in his teens. True. It's true. Look it up. He wore the purple. He knows. Mike Paradine says, somehow he's going to end up in Carolina. You know, what's Carolina's goaltender situation? Let's look that up. Because they're having a good year, but it's always something that is questionable into the playoffs. So you've got Bussy, who's been killer, and you got Anderson, who's been good, but is always injured. If you could bring Bobrovsky in, I don't hate that. And maybe, I don't know what I can't imagine he brings, like he gets a lot, right? Like he can, and Paradiggy says, Bob can always re-sign at Sunrise next year at a discount. He's old enough to retire in Florida. Yeah, for sure. Like they could trade him and then just sign him. Like send him to the playoffs. Lucky says, didn't Bussy just sign an extension? Yes, but imagine you've got Bussy and he's been great. And then going into the playoffs, you grab Bobrovsky. And then if Bussy doesn't do well, then you can go, well, we do have Bobrovsky, who's won the last 2 Stanley Cups. I think that's interesting. So the Leafs are on the first PK since we've come back from the Olympic break. And of course, it's Lawton and Lorentz out there with Carlo and McCabe. Oh, and a one-timer that just hit the post. Wow, and we might have an opportunity here. 2-on-1, Steven Lorentz and Scott Lawton. Steven Lorentz loses the handle. Oh, no. Oh, man. Oh, what a disaster. What a disaster. Come on, how are you going to get a 2-on-1 and not even get a shot? Oh, my goodness. Radish. Down low. Kucherov's got it from Gensel. Shot from Radish, and that's turned aside by Stollers. Kucherov holds. Lorentz attacks. Leafs force the turnover. McCabe tries to get it out, and it is chipped out by Lawton. And a minute done on this power play. The Leafs are going to be able to do a quick change. And Morgan Riley's killing penalties now? Okay. You do you, baby. You do you. Kucherov. Down low out front, and what a goal. Kucherov to Gensel to point, and that one is going to count. Tic-tac-toe. And, man, that seemed easy. Daniel Hamilton says, watching Stollers become a net is nice after watching Binner. But Binner made some saves, and Stollers has not made a lot of saves this year. You almost wonder, I'm going to be the guy to say it. Did the Leafs sign Stollers too soon? Because I bet you, if this season had gone on and they hadn't signed him, they could have got more of a discount. That's all I'm saying. By the way, you can't have Morgan Riley on a PK. What are we doing here? Oh, what are they challenging this for? Are you serious? Pretzel Hunt says, you're the ones who were sold on him. Yes, I was sold on him. I'm allowed to second guess myself. Okay, is this offside? Kucherov might be offside again here. Oh, man. Can you imagine? I think he is. Yep, he's offside. Oh my God. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is nuts. I think he is offside. Offside again. Listen, don't let this excuse the fact that the Leafs have been playing horrible defense. But there's a girl in a Matthews uniform who's just thrilled right now, having the best time, having the best time. Kucherov, keep that skate down. You're fine. You'd be up 2-0 right now. Wow. I believe coming into this game on coaches' challenges, the Leafs were like 8 for 9. They are now 10 for 11. Not bad. Also, again, I'm going to ask you, please don't play Morgan Riley on the PK. That's all I want to say. Crash Test Fetus says second offside for Cooch means he's going to score 5 goals. I know. He's just getting powered up. He's just getting angrier and angrier. The power of fear and hatred runs through his veins. Lorentz takes a shot after a face-off win. 54 seconds to go on this Lightning power play. Oh my God, is this thing still not over? Gensel. Back to the point to Radish. Back down low to Gensel. Gensel, a line made of Austin Matthews on that really good USA second line. Here we go. Another 2-on-1 for Lawton and Lorentz. Oh, and they overpass it and get no shots again. Oh my God. Same power play. 2-2-on-1s, 0 shots. What a mess. This game's such a mess. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Meme Emperor says Cooch thrives on spite and honestly, mood. Fair. Hedman in. Hedman certainly doesn't look hurt. I don't understand why he was sitting in that last game. Drew made a really good point. There's Riley out there on the PK again. Well, now we're back to even strength. Good Lord. Hedman throws the puck in. 3:39 left to go in the first period. Welcome back. Experience Toronto Maple Leaf hockey. 2-2-on-1s on a PK, and we can't get a shot. That's what it's all about, kids. Oliver Ekman-Larsson's going to have a shot here. It goes off the defenseman, over to the corner, picked up by Michelli. Michelli on the far wall. Oh, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Oh, he put it wide. Michelli found OEL wide open, and OEL tried to go short side. There was an opening above Bob's shoulder, but he just missed the net. Tavares with Nylander. Nylander wide open. Oh, and Vasilevsky makes a great save on him. Nylander might have been offside on that play, but it doesn't matter. Drew says both of those goals would have been onside at the Olympics with the extra 3 feet. Yeah, he's right, actually. Honestly, though, if the Leafs were playing at the Olympics, they'd be lucky to beat Latvia. They're just stinky caca in their own end. They are so bad. It was like Chris Tanev. Jake McCabe had a great year last year. Yuck. Moser with a shot. Puck is thrown out by the Leafs. They're going to change. And back goes McDonough to get it. Daniel says there will be no goals tonight. There will only be offsides. That's true. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Sorry, Tampa. We're going to challenge every goal tonight just to be a pain in the ass. 2 minutes to go in the first period. In comes Gensel. He's in on Riley. Hagel's looking good, by the way. He's looking active. He's looking healthy. Yeah. Lucky says these are beer league shot totals. I know. It's nuts. Nelson says no other team can be worse than my Rangers. That's true. I think the Rangers are so much better on paper than what they've shown. I don't understand how it's been this bad. Other than it's like they hate, like you play in New York. Like it's New York. What do you mean you hate your life? And yet, I wonder about Vinny Trocheck too. I wonder if he gets moved at the deadline. Sort of feels like he's like destined to go to Minnesota to play with Kucherov and stuff, right? Or at least maybe on the second line. Ghost of War says, we all know the Leafs can't get a deal done with Calgary, but in a hypothetical scenario, what are your thoughts on Uyghur playing on the Toronto Blue Line? Well, listen, Mackenzie Uyghur rocks. He's an incredible defenseman, and I would not. I don't see why the Flames would give him up because they've already had to trade Rasmus Anderson. They gotta have somebody back there. I love Uyghur. I think chance. Oh, we got a hurt Leaf at the bench. Look like Domi. Um, I think that Kadri's going to be the guy that goes. Darren Dreger reported it. He has requested a trade, and boy, it sure seems like Colorado's going to happen, doesn't it? After they made that trade yesterday with Sam Girard going to Pittsburgh, Benoit, Stetcher, puck is up for Waugh. Nick Waugh, another guy, low key, could get traded. Like him a lot, but he's got another year left at what, $3 million? You know, people looking for centers. Producer Drew says, is the blue line the Maple Leafs' best defender? Oh, Drew. He might have a point. He might have a point. I mean, Drew gets to watch a defensive core that includes Cale Makar and my new favorite guy, Sam Malinsky. Member of Team Latvia, who he's so good and a late bloomer that he's made it okay for Colorado to be like, yeah, we don't need Sam Girard anymore. We'll take Brett Kulak. Thanks. We're going to move some money around. Didn't they do the Girard trade to activate O'Connor? That might be the case, but they still, Kadri's got, oh, they had the space for that? Yeah, I think there's a Kadri deal. Hey, by the way, first period's done. NHL is back. We're here. How do we feel? How do we feel about the rate of play? How do we feel about the sloppiness? Drew, give me your honest assessment of watching NHL hockey after watching the Olympics. He said this game is like two AHL teams. This is terrible. John says it's hard to watch, not gonna lie. Schill says, well, this is less exciting than the Olympics. That's saying it. Papa Burgundy says, Bolt Fran from Wisconsin, great arena. Oh, the Lightning. Amalie is amazing. It's a fun place to watch a hockey game. Aaron says it's a solid 8 out of 10 on the Goofy meter. Mixed Heart Productions, 2 Hail Marys. You give it 2 Hail Marys. Okay. All right. Sparta says, I miss goals. Well, you did get 2 goals. They just didn't count. Florida team has gone to every final in the last 6 years, as I know. I could see Nick Waugh going to Montreal. It'd be fun if you could get Kapanen. If the Leafs could get Kapanen and Alex Carrier, I don't know if you could get either. I'd love Kapanen. I think Oliver Kapanen's having a good year. Oh, Meme Emperor says it's Benchmark Arena, not Amalie. Had the name change, right? I went when it was Amalie. Ceci Ross says, hey, Cess, tell Drew, I blame the Avalanche players for Canada not winning the gold. McKinnon and Tays both missed chances, and Makar OT gamble. Drew, your response. What's that? He said, hey, maybe someone else could get a scoring chance. I also know what Drew's thinking. You know what I think Drew's thinking? Drew's going, how come McDavid went in 1-on-3 twice in overtime? Kind of a good point. He didn't say it, but I'm saying it. Yeri Personen says, what do the following goalies have in common? Anthony Stolarz, Connor Hellebuck, Eunice Corpusalo, Andre Vasilevsky, Linus Ullmark, Matt Murray, and Frederick Anderson. I don't know. They didn't go to the White House. I don't know. You gotta answer this quickly because we gotta go to break here, Yuri. Get to it, Yuri. Give us the answer, Yuri. All right. Hey, Drew, we're going to go to break, and then we'll find out the answer from Yuri probably during the break. Oh, they're all drafted in 2012. Oh, it's a good goaltender draft. I didn't know that. Okay, Drew. What clip are we running for intermission? This is great timing. Drew says we got the clip. Do you think Connor McDavid was to blame for Canada's overtime loss? Check it out, and I will see you here at the beginning of the second period. You know, the thing is now that's 2 Stanley Cup finals. He did win the 4 Nations, but everybody knows that is a mini tournament. That's not the Olympics. That's not the Stanley Cup finals.
Special.
And then there were people who were complaining that he went in the 3-on-3 overtime, went in by himself against 3 other players twice in that short overtime period.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I know nobody was really with him, but are those the smartest plays? Probably not. Does that make, because again, it's all narrative driven. I think a lot of this is also just First Take a Palooza, like what the effect that First Take has had on talking sports. I can never remember having great players like this in like the 90s and people going, that guy will never win. He sucks. Yeah. Like the first time I can ever remember that happening was like Phil Mickelson when he'd been in like 45 majors and never won one. With Connor McDavid, people are going to chirp this guy. Mm-hmm. They're going to give him shit.
Okay.
Do you think you learned anything new about Connor McDavid in this tournament?
Not a thing. Not a single thing. I've watched lots of Connor McDavid hockey. He is a driven winner, ridiculously fast, incredible vision, incredible execution. But like my main criticism from that game, it's interesting. Like a lot of the conversation when Canada was losing to Czechia, when Canada was losing to Finland before the comebacks, was they should have brought Scheifele, and they should have brought Bedard, and they should have brought Hyman, and they should have brought Schaefer, and they should have brought Bouchard. And it was all their best players let them down in that 3-on-3. That's probably the hardest part to swallow from a Team Canada perspective. Nathan McKinnon was incredible. Did not do well in that overtime. Cale Makar was incredible. Did not do well in that overtime. It's like you could put some of the first goal on him, then he tied it. Then you could put some of the OT winner on him. And yeah, McDavid just really baffling choices in that overtime. Like if he carved through 3 guys and beat them, no one would be surprised.
We consider it one of the greatest goals of all time.
Yeah, but also it's the Olympics and you're not going up against bad players. And what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, 3-on-3 overtime is entirely about possession. And it's terrible decision making by him to go up on the rush all by himself against the entire other side of the team and think that that's a smart way to win 3-on-3 overtime. It was bad decision making for him in that case because he needs to have resources with him if he's going to shoot the puck and if the team's going to maintain possession, and nobody else was with him, and he decided to do his own thing and they lost possession and things going the other way, and he did it twice. And that's to me it screamed of a little bit once Canada didn't get the 5-on-3 done, didn't capitalize on that. They didn't capitalize on they had another power play later after that.
The abbreviated, yes.
And the abbreviated one, the minute 10 that they had after the penalty there. And then like McKinnon missing the wide open net, all that stuff. The overtime felt like they squeezed their sticks a little too tight. Yeah. And they're playing a game where it's like, we gotta get this done here. We gotta finish it. We gotta finish it early. And they completely rushed it, and especially McDavid on the rush. And that's what leads to opportunities for the other team. Like it's 3-on-3 is so specific in that you go one way and you try and make a play, you are guaranteed to leave your opponent a chance to go back the other end if they still have legs. If you've tired out their legs and they can't really make it and it's one guy going back, then you're okay. But if they have legs to go the other way, if you're taking a shot at your end, they're going to get the opportunities. And that's exactly what happened. And Jack Hughes, unlike Team Canada, took care of his one opportunity.
When it comes to moments like this, all you really have is a small sample size. And even a big sample size in moments like this are a small sample size. And Connor McDavid has a big sample size of moments like this. And came out on top last year. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't really make a broad sweeping statement of him. It was two rushes, two baffling rushes. Like, there were a few, you know, some of the things that are going around. Like, you look at some of the micro moments of the game. Second or third period, Colton Parayko gets like 3 shots in 6 seconds and
Wires 2 of them wide.
He didn't execute. He's got a bomb of a shot.
He does.
But of all the players on the ice you want taking the shot, it ain't him. You know, the 5-on-3 in a gold medal game. What a gift.
For nearly 2 minutes.
And they
What a gift.
And they couldn't get it. They couldn't even get the offensive zone pressure.
No, and like
they couldn't get
in
set up.
that in that case, you gotta also give credit to the Americans, who
absolutely,
just like the women's team, had a perfect penalty kill throughout the Olympics.
That's amazing.
crazy.
Both
Amazing.
programs, perfect penalty kills. Hats off to you guys. That's incredible. Canada, they got stopped, and that's the case there. And with McDavid's legacy, it's not the prettiest resume because like the winning side of it isn't pretty, you know, because you want the greatest players in your sport to have, you know, championships associated with that and a winning legacy with that. And Sidney Crosby, the reason he's so revered is he always got it done and he always got the winning part of it done.
The numbers are there, but like the dude doesn't lose.
Exactly. Like it's
Seeing him with silver was very odd.
It's crazy to look at how his career went and how much winning he got done consistently year after year. And McDavid's not going to have that for the beginning portion of his career, at least for this first decade.
Right.
But there's time to turn that around. And with McDavid, if you go to the specific teams that lost, like the 25 finals, the one that just happened against Florida, I don't blame that one on his individual efforts. I think the other team was better. The 24 finals, you can shut down McDavid and you can try and have the rest of the team pick him up. And I don't think there's enough pieces in Edmonton to do that.
And that was the deeper of the two.
Yeah.
Which is
and
crazy.
Florida, I think, was still the better team.
Absolutely.
Florida, I think they've been so good the last couple of years. I don't know if anybody, that's the best player in the game, and he's not breaking through that unless he has better resources around him. And it's so much of a team game that I'm willing to excuse the poor resume he has on paper because of the individual resume he has and all of the Hart trophies and all of these MVPs in winning and losing situations, which is insane. So McDavid, we got to look at the way his career has gone in a different light, you know, and to kind of excuse the losing. And he's never going to be revered like Crosby unless everything flips.
Right.
Because Crosby had both, and that's just really unfortunate for him. And he's not going to win that battle.
If I can jump in on that for just a second.
Sure.
A couple of things with McDavid that are differing from Crosby. And by the way, for anybody that's listening that might be a huge McDavid fan who's going, how the hell can you do him this dirty or whatever? I am not one of those people that doesn't think McDavid can win. I am not going to be one of those people ever. I think this guy is going to get it done. It's just a question of when.
It's just objectively true.
What Crosby had early on in his career that McDavid did not have was good management. And I'm not talking about his personal management. The Pittsburgh Penguins built themselves into an incredible organization. Not only did they have Crosby, but they also had which Stahl brother was it? Jordan.
And
they had
Malkin.
Gino Malkin on the way up. They had Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yep.
They had Chris Letang. They had older guys, Mark Recchi, Bill Guerin, you know, some of the Pascal Dupuis, some of these guys that kind of came in, whereas Edmonton had horrible management for years. Imagine an Edmonton, remember their penalty kill was like around 50% at one point. It was like historically bad.
But it was very specific. It was only on at home, I think.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was really odd.
Jesse, do you remember when we were at Boston Pizza, Keith Acton's Boston Pizza in Stouffville, and he said, and this is 2 years ago when the Oilers went all the way to the finals and they weren't even in the finals yet. He's like, but if they go to the finals and they get this done, McDavid will be, in my mind, the greatest player ever because he got it done without the supporting cast. And that's a former NHL assistant coach, Stanley Cup winner saying the supporting cast just isn't there. Now, this time it didn't happen, but I feel like, you know, the chirps for McDavid, you know, remember he also didn't win in the OHL either.
The Oshawa Generals beat him in the OHL final.
Went all the way to the final.
So one of these days, that championship's going to happen, and I'm curious about what the look on his face will be.
Listen, sports records are made to be broken, and you should never say that something's never going to happen again, because it will. This will never happen again. In a 2-year span or a 3-year span, Connor McDavid won the Conn Smythe Trophy without winning the Cup and Olympic MVP without winning gold. That will never happen to any individual ever again. Ever. Until the sun explodes.
Mm-hmm.
No one's ever going to be able to pull that off. And I think it says something about the team there. It's insane to me that he hasn't won. I don't have a good explanation for it.
I don't think anybody does this morning. I think, again, that's why it stings. Hey, did you like the thing you just watched?
Was it hilarious?
Was it informative?
Was it me losing my mind?
Possibly. Potentially. Most of the time it is. Hey, listen, if you like what SDPN has to offer, you should check out more of our videos.
Hello, we're back. Whoo. Hey, so Tyler Myers is being sat for trade-related reasons. And I know that the Leafs are going to do the buy-sell thing. So they're going to buy eventually, but they need to get some assets first. You would think they would have to sell. All I want to say is this. Brad, if you're thinking about it, don't think about it. Put the phone down. Let someone else. Okay? We don't listen. Nothing, no disrespect to Tyler Myers. We don't need to do that. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. That's all I'm saying. Makes me a bit nervous. You know how he likes his big, beefy men. By the way, did you know that when Brad played, I think he played in the ECHL, he was a defenseman as well, and he was a big, beefy man. Dan Patrick, 9420, says, just a reminder, you never win silver unless it's a timed event. You always lose gold, which makes you the best loser for 4 years. Oh, that's an interesting way of looking at it. So, yeah. So, unless it's a timed event, you're losing in that, like curling and hockey. Okay. Sorry. You know what? I've had a really long day. We had the SDP. We did VIP today. I got a... Yeah, Drew. It took Drew a second too. Okay, so I'm not the only one. I'll just be the first to admit it. I ain't that fresh today. But I'm trying my best. And I got a massive headache because of this weather system that's rolling through. But it took me a second to get it. Nurch says, please know Myers. He's a giant giraffe who can't do anything. He scores so many own goals in Vancouver. You know, listen, a guy like Myers, if he's your 6th or 7th defenseman, 6-7, on like a team that's got a legit shot at the cup, I don't have a problem with that. I liked him in the role that Rick Tocchet was playing him in the 23-24 playoffs for Vancouver. But the problem is that Tyler Myers has been forced to play way further up in the lineup than perhaps he should have in his career. You know what I mean? He was a high draft pick, played too many minutes in Buffalo, went to Vancouver. I think we know what he is now. I could see a team that is strong defense. Like, could you see a team like the Dallas Stars picking him up? I mean, he's like older, less good Lyubushkin. People get injured. You want a guy like that. Bobby says McDavid already getting asked brutal questions. Yeah, so Mark Spector asked Connor McDavid the most insane question today. And it's not that he's necessarily wrong to ask the question. It's how he asked it. He said, for Wayne Gretzky, and I think he named a couple other players, the cups and the championships, they just sort of came, and yours hasn't really come yet. And how do you feel about that? And McDavid's like, oh, thanks. Great question. Welcome back. Welcome back to Edmonton. And he's not wrong to ask the question because, if you look at McDavid's career, didn't win the OHL championship. Oshawa shut him down. Hasn't won 2 straight Stanley Cups. Then lost the gold medal. And won 4 nations. So I it's not that he's like a loser. It's just sort of like, well, he's been in some notable losses. Ought we to ask the question? You know? I think it's fair. You guys take forever to upload the video of your podcast. Drew, it's up, isn't it? Well, it's the VIP ad free is up, but I don't know about the other one. It should be up. Okay. I think it was supposed to be up by now, but there might be an issue with the scheduling of it. Don't worry, guys. We're on it. Miss Gams, welcome to SDP VIP. Hell yeah. Also, people are saying it's not on Spotify, Drew. Apparently, it's not on Spotify. If you could tell them that too. Domi getting into it with Gergensons. Just text him it anyway, because I think I heard him leave. You're a boss for casting all the Olympic Games back to back and losing your voice. I was watching along with you, big guy. Thank you, Rylan. Appreciate you. And Miss Maxim upgraded to SDP VIP ad free. And you can watch now. You can watch our brand new episode. It's up. Matthews kind of overskated a puck there. And yuck and scary. I got to be honest with you. Watching Matthews with Boldy and Gensel, I'm like, we need to get this man some line mates. Matthews just drew an interference call. Or is it roughing? It's roughing. It could have been interference. By the way, John Cooper, not on the bench for the Lightning tonight. His father passed away. Terrible. Feel terrible for him. Seems like a great guy. Never spoken to him myself, but just really tough timing, and I hope he's okay. Jamie Richardson says Riley doesn't want to get traded and has a no move. Riley's not going to be a Leaf next year, guys. I don't know that for certain, but I'm telling you. Not a Leaf next year. Not happening. People waive no move clauses all the time. I think it's over. I think we all know that. Nyes, Matthews, Tavares, Willie out on the power play with Morgan Riley. And again, I ask, why not Oliver Ekman-Larsson? And we got a 2-on-1 here. Hagel and Hedman, and Gensel had a shot too. But the Leafs were able to break that up. Okay, the pod was just posted. Anybody that wants to watch the pod, it's available. But I would ask you, it was posted 40 seconds ago. I would ask you, hang in the chat with me until the intermission, then start the pod. I want you to hang out with me. 1:18 left on this Leafs power play. Leafs currently, surprisingly, out-cheating the Tampa Bay Lightning 8-4. It would be 2-0 Tampa, but 2 Nikita Kucherov offsides have negated both goals. Leafs getting absolutely nothing going on this particular power play. It is going to be a sloppy game. It's going to take a few games to get back up to normal, but whoa, it has been sloppy-doppy tonight. Let's be honest. Luke says 8-4 in the shot seems crazy low. It is low. Both teams look sloppy. Ekman-Larsson down in. Robertson redirected that. Michelli up front. Shot. Vasilevsky with a save. Big rebound. Michelli with a shot. He misses it. Oh, he held to Michelli. Michelli gets it off of Hedman's butt. And then Domi's going to get it. There's 28 seconds left in this power play. There's finally some opportunities for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Spotify is now live with the podcast as well. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Up to Michelli. Michelli crosses the blue line, passes to Brandon Hagel. Not the guy you want to pass to. Somebody should tell him that. Hagel. To Moser. Back to Moser. And Hagel set up Moser beautifully. Stoller's made a great save, but every time Stoller stretches, I'm like that. I'm like, please don't pull a groin. Please don't pull a groin. Please. Wow, Vasilevsky looked really sharp on that McMahon play. Suggestion for the Leafs. Start the second power play unit. Please, God. Great save by Stollers. Great save. Shots now 10-4 Toronto. Who would have called that? Drew says, well, 2 of them got taken away for Tampa. Yes, true. But they didn't count for a reason, Drew. Not that the Leafs played great defensively in the first. They sure didn't. Yarncroke gives the puck away. Kucherov tries to get across the blue line. Can't. Almost went offside. Didn't go offside. Almost did. $16:30 left in the second period. Okay, Drew asked me a question. How many wins do I guess the Leafs finish with? How many games left? 25 games left. They currently have 27 wins. Radish made a great play in front. Ozone pressure here. Drew, I'm going to answer that in a second. Braden pointed the point. He's looking really good. Cross ice. Kucherov with an absolute rocket. But Stollers is able to make the save, and this fourth line is getting absolutely caved by the Lightning right now. Radish just jumping on top of, I think it's Yarncroke to keep it in. Yeah, it was Yarncroke. Gensel at the point. Back to point. Back to Gensel. Leafs can't get the puck. Carlo finally does. Yarncroke's going to get it. Please don't ice that. And they're going to get a change. Okay, Drew, one more question. How many wins do the Leafs get? I think probably, listen, I would love for them to make the playoffs. But I think the Leafs are going to be a 37-win team. I think we're good for 10 more. They might match with Tampa. Maybe they get 40 because it's 25 games, right? Even if they got 40, that would be roughly 50-50, right? Roughly like a 500 record. Yeah, so 40 to 42. 40 feels good. They haven't done a ton to inspire confidence, right? I'd love to say, yeah, screw it, they're going on a run, and I hope they do. But I think we all kind of know. Hasn't felt great. Bobby says, Adam, where's your Han Solo jacket? I took it off because I was overheating. Dan Patrick says they need to win 19 of the rest of their games in regulation for a chance to have a wild card. I thought it was 16. I thought the 16 was the number. Whatever it takes to get them to, 95 points they think is going to be the cutoff? 96. 98's the projected cutoff, which would mean they're at 63. Ooh, they need a lot of points. So you need 15, 16. Yeah. So 17 and 7. Okay, so Dan's not that far off. Yeah, 17 and 7. So that's 2 in every 3. You got to win. Okay. CVS Johnson says this game is boring. Yucky. This game is a little slow. You can't expect them to come back after the break and be sharp. They're not sharp. They don't look sharp. Neither the Lightning, though. Sergeant Shocker says, why is Yarncroke in the lineup when Joshua is healthy? Hey, how about Easton Cowan? The Leafs need to move some wingers. McMahon's probably going to go. Michelli's probably going to go. It's so bizarre to me that you could have sent Easton Cowan down for the entirety of February, and instead he is sat around in the NHL, not played hockey, and he literally hasn't played in 3 days. It'll be a month. Are we kidding? Justin Fisher dropping 5 SDPN memberships. What's up, Justin? Lightning really taking control of this last 5 minutes of the game. Ever since the Leafs went on the power play, as soon as that ended, it's been the Lightning's game. No offensive zone pressure from the Leafs thus far. Justin Fisher says, surprise, MFers. Supplies, MFers. Sergeant Shocker says, I'm surprised you pronounced my username right. Most people say SGT Shocker. Well, I used to play with Army men growing up, so I figured it was Sergeant. But also, I usually get people's usernames wrong, so let's not pretend it wasn't a little bit of luck. JD Atkinson, I wasn't prepared for the return of 12 a.m. puck drops. JD, where do you watch from again? Are you in Scandinavia? Where you must be in Europe. Acar says Riley for CC and Dumoulin. No thanks. Nope. You can keep your CC. Chantel Zeller, which SDPN producer has the cat? That would be Mr. Hayden Matheson, who has been in the chat. JD Atkinson watches from the UK. Yeah, Hayden's got a couple of cats. I also have a cat. Drew, do you have any pets? Drew has no pets. Oh, and there's a goal. This goal is going to count. This is Braden Point's second goal of the game, but it's the first one that will count. What's that, Drew? Yeah. Drew said I did say it would count last time, but let's see if they offside challenge it. I think he's saying, are they going to challenge it? That looks like it was onside. Yeah. Nobody picks Point up. Nobody. Nyes just lets him go. Yep. That's your man. That is your man's. Even if that's not Nyes' guy, I mean, you could go high. What's Waugh doing? Drew says, man, Braden Point on Canada would have been a huge difference. Amen to that. C-Lib says, the Olympics spoiled us. It was great. It was a great example of great hockey. This is not great hockey. Yeah, but remember, again, a lot of these guys have had next to 3 weeks off. This feels like the first game of the season. And they haven't even had preseason to warm up. This feels like the first game of the preseason. Just looks sloppy. Chantel Zeller said, did the cat or Hayden get dental surgery? It was Hayden. Okay, here come the Lightning again. And as I told you, they kind of have taken over this part of the period. Shots were 10-4 less than 5 minutes ago. Now they're 11-10. Not a great stretch for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Your Toronto Maple Leafs, the passion. Michelli behind the net with the puck in the offensive zone. He's got 2 Lightning on him. No support from his forwards. Justin Fisher says, this is Olympic level hockey. It's just that none of you watch Latvia, Italy. Oh my God. Anthony Stolarz, pick your pants back up. Zemgus Girgensons and Oliver Ekman-Larsson after a fight are going to get into it. Oh no, it's Gage Gonzalez. Concalves, excuse me. And he just ran over Anthony Stolarz. Absolutely ran him over. Goncalves, killer move. But he did kind of explode into Anthony Stolarz and Oliver Ekman-Larsson. It's clean. I'm not saying there's going to be a penalty, Drew. I'm just saying it's the accidentally on purpose Sam Bennett. Look, watch. See? Move. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you're right. But Oliver Ekman-Larsson's like, you know what? I'm going to punch you anyway because I'm mad. I think his skate hit Ekman-Larsson in the head. Watch. I think that hit him. And I think he was just like, ow, that hurt, and I'm going to take it out on you. Boy, the Leafs stink on defense. Holy moly. Like, I don't even blame Stolarz for that. Like, that was a great move. Yeah, OEL just got a penalty, too. I don't know what he's mad about, to be honest. Like, well, I guess I do. If I got hit in the face with a skate, I'd be pissed, but I think that's a roughing call. Is it 2 penalties or 1? No, it looks like just the 1. Yeah, I don't know why OEL's yelling at the ref like he did. Drew's like, he just attacked him. Justin says, that's enough for me. Have fun, everyone. Justin, you don't want to stick around and watch this great game, This great game, JD Atkinson, I'm in the UK in the town. Sir Tony Hand coaches in now. Well, JD, you say hi to Sir Tony Hand. Rocknor says it's Gonzalez. You're welcome. Gonzalez. Gonzalez. I'm used to the baseball, which is Gonzalez. Gonzalez. Justin says, I have better things to do, like doing the dishes. Shilly says, I miss the feeling of winning. Yep. Might have to wait for next year for that one. Row Live says, just a few days ago, I was rooting for McCarr and McJesus, and now Payne. You know what, Row Live? I think you missed an opportunity to say McPayne. Because that's what this is. It's McPayne. Ashkovia says the game tonight feels like the last game of the season where you're either guaranteed a spot or you're guaranteed out, so you play your C team. Yeah, the problem is that the Leafs are a C team. Like, they're healthy. And now they're killing a penalty. Shot. Good save by Stollers. Kucherov back to Radish at the point. Radish keeps it in. 109 left on the power play. And out comes Steven Lorentz. Maybe this opportunity he gets a shot. And he did. And he gets knocked over pretty good. And he's not getting up fast. I hope he's okay. He's back. Drew says, is this game putting you back on the Sell McMahon? Drew, I never left the Sell McMahon train. I don't think, like, if you want McMahon that badly, sign him in the offseason. Go get a pick for him, for God's sakes. Are you out of your mind? Look at this team. This is terrible. Radish to Bjorkstrand. Drew says, this is the Tampa C team. Hey, well, they're mostly good. I mean, who's not playing tonight? Cirelli? Wow. Another good tic-tac-toe play by Kucherov. He's just a monster. End point. Oh. I can't believe the Leafs. I really can't believe that they're actually going to be like, let's see how the next 5 games go. Are you out of your mind? This team does not have it. This team does not have it. The Trash Panda says, hey, do you have any thoughts on Pelly's letter to the fans? So Keith Pelly wrote a letter to the season ticket holders yesterday, and I got a couple copies of it, and I read it on the podcast today. So if you would like my thoughts on that, the Trash Panda, I'll give you a short answer now. The long answer is on the podcast. They're raising the prices. Did I chuckle? Hell yeah, I chuckled. Absolutely. Drew said, did you chuckle? Fuck yeah. Of course I chuckled. Yes. It's just Julia asked, did he tell them to shower? No, this isn't Joshua. Oh my God, that's funny. That's funny. Good one. Keith Smelly, more like it. Ian, funny. You guys, listen. If we're gonna go down and this is gonna be a stinky, terrible rest of the season, we at least need to make some jokes. All right, we got to be funny in the chat. C-Libs says mediocrity isn't free. Amen to that. It costs money to put a bad team on the ice. How dare you? It's just Julia says, you got to laugh through the pain. You betcha. Oh, wow. What a giveaway. Morgan Riley just let his man go. I can't believe the defensive coverage in this game. It's awful. And it's Zemgus Girgensons, Morgan. Come on. No, like, nothing against Zemgus Girgensons, but really? He's going to beat you in a foot race? What's going on here? Gord chips the puck in. Carla and Benoit, the Oz, are out on the ice. Carlo. Radish, shot, save, Stollers. Stollers has looked mostly okay today. I wouldn't say he's looked great, but mostly okay. Moser. Out front. Shot. Oh, we got a break. Willie breakaway. Let's go. Shoots. And a huge save by Vasilevsky. Willie almost gets the rebound too, but there is literally nobody following up his breakaway. Nobody followed Willie up. Are we kidding? Do we go for a change? Is that what we're doing? Oh. Isn't that something they teach you in hockey? Hey, if somebody goes for a breakaway, it's pretty likely to be a rebound. Please follow him in. There was 4 Lightning guys and 0 Leafs. What are we doing? Do you think I'm wrong? You can tell me if I'm wrong. Drew, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Robert, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Chat, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Am I wrong on that? What do you mean Willie's just walking away like nobody's there with him? JD Atkins says McMahon and $675,000 retained for a first and a conditional third that becomes a second if he re-signs with the team. If it's Edmonton, first, second, third, and Mangiapane. From your lips to God's ears. I don't think the market's there yet, but I just think Bobby McMahon to Edmonton makes so much sense because of what he makes and what he brings. And the speed of Bobby McMahon with McDavid is such an interesting thought. Cal Morrell says they got tired again. Long break and they're still tired. Bobby says Adam is never wrong. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Nylander got the yips. Don't put that out there. Shitty says we were spoiled by the Olympics, weren't we? Now we have to come back to normal and we'll hate every play they make. Again, I don't mind. I'm not looking for crisp passes in this game. I'm not looking for crazy, exciting. I mean, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs. They are not an exciting team this year. Not only are they bad, the product is bad. It's not an exciting product. It's an entertainment. You got to remember, sports is entertainment. If I was the owner of this team, I'd be like, guys, if you're going to suck, at least be entertaining. They're not. They're not entertaining at all, right? They're just not. You know that. You watch these games because you're a diehard fan. You don't watch them because you're like, man, I sure enjoy watching this, right? You know what I would suggest? Are the Avalanche playing tonight, Drew? So the Avs are playing right now. When this game is over, this game will be over in an hour and a half. Go watch the rest of the Avs game. And I'm not saying the Avs are going to look all that sharp. Their passes are going to miss or whatever. You watch the flow of the Colorado Avalanche, the pace of the Colorado Avalanche, and you'll be like, I get it. Even if their passes are not crisp. You'll get it. By the way, the Leafs have allowed 13 shots this period. They came in. Tampa had 4 shots. Now they're at 17. And by the way, those 13 shots have occurred since about the 17-minute mark in the second period. Last 10 minutes, that's what the Leafs have allowed. A shot, more than a shot per minute. Point is looking really good. Gianni says, Adam, the Leafs right now, is this just a blip for the season or a concern for the future? I think you should be concerned about the future. I'm not saying you should be doom and gloom about it. It's going to depend on 2 or 3 events: trade deadline, draft, free agency. There's good talent. And who's the GM? Well, the GM is going to be Drew. Drew makes the point. Who's going to be the GM? The GM for trade deadline, we know, is going to be Brad. They said in the letter to the fans today that they have a vision, but they can't reveal it because it's super secret. I don't think it's that secret. I think we all know the team's not that good. But here's the problem that they have. It is hard to solve the problems that they have. You need a couple of top 6 forwards. You probably need 2 or 3 strong puck-moving defensemen at various levels. There's Riley. Shot right on the chest protector of Vasilevsky. And so to solve those issues and really not have any prospects you can trade and really not have any picks, that's a problem. You're going to have to move some bodies. So you can solve the problem. You can probably pry Dougie Hamilton out of New Jersey. I hope that's what they do. But you're going to need to do more than that. Austin Matthews can't be playing with Max Domi and Bobby McMahon or whoever else next season. I think you need to move one of your centermen, very likely both of Waugh and Lawton, although I love Scott Lawton. And you need to find a second line center as well. Like, no disrespect to John Tavares, it might be time to move him to the wing or move him to third line center. But I think that in an optimal scenario, that's what you would do. The problem is that, like, there's not a lot of guys available in free agency this year. And if they are available, I don't know if you're prepared for how much money these guys are going to make. The salary cap is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood, if I'm not mistaken, of $107 million. Teams like the Pittsburgh Penguins right now are projected to have $48 million in cap space with Crosby and Malkin on the roster. Malkin will probably get re-signed. So he signs for $5 million, whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, so they have $42 million. How are you going to compete with that? Are you going after Jaden Schwartz and Darren Radish with $7, $8, $9 million deals over 6 or 7 years? That's rough. That's rough. You got to get Willie a center to play with more than Tavares, because I don't think you can play Tavares this many minutes next season. I think Tavares is still a very good NHL player, but you got to have his minutes around 15 a game. You can't have it at 18 or 19. Matthews needs a playmaker to play with him. I know they wanted Domi to be that guy. I wanted Domi to be that guy. Domi wanted to be that guy. I think some nights Domi's that guy. You need a guy who's like that every night. And you probably need a new power forward because you're probably trading McMahon. I'm excited to see what Easton Cowan can do. I want to see a line with William Nylander, playmaking centerman, and Easton Cowan. Trade for Fraser Minton. I know, man. What a season he's had. Good for him. They should try to trade for Malinsky from the Avs. Young puck moving RHT. Ask Drew what he thinks. I'll tell you what I think. Malinsky rocks, but he's not as young as you think he is. Isn't he like 29, Drew? And he's not going anywhere. They just traded Sam Girard. Oh, big hit by Ekman Larsson. Ekman Larsson's playing mad tonight. Oh, he's 27. Okay, but still. Yeah, they just traded Girard. Girard was the guy. If the Leafs wanted a smallish puck-moving defenseman, Girard was the guy. Denise says they need to sit Morgan down and tell him to pick a team. I think that's what they're going to do. Yeah, Malinsky's and Drew's saying Malinsky signed that contract extension 3 weeks ago. Yeah, he's staying. Like, they love him. He's awesome. They're not trading him. But this is where you get your pro scouts out and you go, okay, find me the next Darren Radish. Find the next Devontae. Thank you, Drew. Find the next William Karlsson in Vegas when they claimed him in the expansion draft. I think he had 4 goals or something that year in Columbus, and then the next year he had 40. Go find those guys. They exist. Good shot, by the way. Robertson with another shot. Missed the net. Oh, wait. Yeah, missed the net and went really high and into the glass or into the crowd. TXT says, why would anybody want Riley? I think you'd be surprised. The guys, listen, first off, he's clearly not a Craig Berube system guy, but there are plenty of teams that are going to be on the outside looking in who have tens of millions to spend, and they're going to need puck-moving defensemen. Like, you know where Riley would do really well, and I don't think he's going to ever get moved here. But Dan Muse's system in Pittsburgh, I think Riley would thrive in that system. He probably wouldn't get any power play time because that's going to go to Karlsson and probably Letang, maybe even Girard. But that is a system I could see if you have a team that is a quick puck-moving team where he can play with a defensive defenseman and he can just be himself. I actually think you can find good value there. Drunk Hamster says, save Kyrou from St. Louis, awful team and fans. I don't know. I've never had any issue with St. Louis fans. Here's the thing with Kyrou that has me worried, and Robert Thomas too. Why are they always on the trade block and nothing ever gets done? I'm pretty sure, Drew, correct me if I'm wrong here. Pretty sure Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou have been almost traded for like 3 years. Drew's saying 100%. Why are they always in trade rumors? Now, I know Doug Armstrong's going to be like, well, I'm going to ask the sun and the moon. But there's a reason that their names are always out there. And it makes me wonder, and fairly or unfairly, if there is some sort of, clearly there's a change of scenery needed for both players. But is there an attitude problem there? Is there baggage? Like, what's going on? I don't know. Oh, God, Drew, why did you put this on the screen? Holy. The Leafs are the most outshot team, the most average shots against, the most rushes against, and 5-on-5 goals against. Oh, I mean, I would tell you to take that off the screen, but leave it up. Leave it up. And the Leafs are considering not selling? Are you crazy? These guys are lunatics. What an insane graphic. Yuck. Drew, like that's like how vomit tastes. Yeah, keep that up there for now. This team stinks. I'm not even going to hide it anymore. I'm not going to be like, well, maybe. No, they stink. They stink. And by the way, you can sell at the deadline and still make a run at the playoffs. Leafs or Steve keeps doing that. C-Lib says if Carlo gets dealt, there's got to be another sucker out there who sees a 6'5" right shot D-men and they could get maybe a second. I actually think, Carlo's down. Please don't be hurt again. If he is hurt again, we're fucked. Oh my God. He looks hurt. Oh no. This is why you friggin' make the move, boys. Yeah, so Carlo's blocking a shot there. I think Carlo's a better defenseman than what he's shown here. I thought he was awesome in Boston. He's in real pain. I think that some other team's going to get him. They're going to get him on the cheap, and he's going to play real well there. Connor McNicky says, would you still trade Riley if Berube gets fired? Yes. Your time here is done. Time for a change. Like the other thing is, like, for years, this Leafs team underperformed in the playoffs, and nobody got moved. Okay, so now we're going to reward the longtime vets who are underperforming in the regular season and who didn't even make the playoffs? I don't think so. You need to send a lightning bolt through that dressing room. I think everybody on the roster is movable with the exception of Austin Matthews, who I do think you can build a pretty damn good team around. Is he the player that scored 69 goals? No. He hasn't been that player since he got hurt in that season. Is he an elite defensive forward who can probably still get you 35 or 40 goals in a full healthy season? Yeah. That's still really good. Drew thinks he can still get 50. I think he can too. He just doesn't shoot anymore. But maybe that's because he's got nobody to pass it to him. And Drew's like he's paying with Bobby McMahon. Somebody said I missed a super chat with the Nylander trade. Hang on. Dan Patrick says Nylander to Utah through the Sharks. Leafs a quarter retained, Sharks a quarter retained. Sharks get a third rounder. The Leafs get a first, a third, and Keller. The only issue with that is double retention is not allowed anymore. Gary Bettman is anti-trade and sucks. So he's made it so that there's got to be something like if you retain on a player, that player cannot be traded and retained on for like 70 days. So you can have a double retention that stretches over months, but you can't double retain at the deadline. Why would they make it harder to make trades at the deadline? Because they're absolute fools. Absolute fools. They're crazy. JD Atkinson, would you go in for Bunting For a fourth, if Callie and Robbie go at the deadline, he'd be 2.5 retained at the end of the season. Perfect for Berube hockey. Listen, I think you could get Bunting for a lot less than that. Yarncroke back in Nashville kind of that'd be a nice story. Robertson, I think you hang on to. He might actually have some value, Robertson. He's still an RFA, too. Get him signed again this offseason, or you can trade him, but get something for him. And make sure it's not an expiring Michael Bunting contract. Drew says, if Carlo is not hurt, do you regret not moving him before the Olympic break? Yes. Yes. He better not be hurt. Akar says, would you want either Tocchet or DeBoer as coach? I think Tocchet more than DeBoer, certainly. It's not going well in Philly this first year for him. I'm surprised. But I think he's a very good coach. I was really surprised at what he did with the Canucks. And I thought he was a bad hire when they hired him. But it's worked out okay. Oh, Robertson with a nice little pass reception there. I look at DeBoer, and I look at what he said about Ottinger in the playoffs. And it's not that DeBoer is not an extraordinarily successful coach. He is. But I think if you look at the teams that he has coached, Vegas, hasn't he coached New Jersey, Dallas? These are not mega. Oh, nice. Had the opportunity of a lifetime there. Could not put it in. These are not major markets with major media. And DeBoer's kind of ornery. Kind of a snarly guy. I think he'd burn out pretty quick here. I think the lights are a little too bright for a guy like that. I just don't think he'd handle the media well. He didn't handle the media in Dallas well. You going to handle Toronto? All right, sure. J.D. Atkinson, Robertson, and Callie, separate deal to Bunting. Okay, I'd be down. Carlo with a shot. Hey, Carlo's playing, and he's shooting. 47 seconds left, mercifully, in this awful period. James Newman says the Leafs have zero jump, no chance. Well, yeah, and they look exactly like the team that we left them at in early Feb. This team has no speed. Like Michelli's fast, McMahon's fast, but the system they play is so effing slow. Berube's powered up out there. He's got Ekman, Larson, Riley, Tavares, Matthews, and Nylander. That's our power up. Ooh. Bailoff says, the game's going well when Adam's talking about the game as little as possible. Guys, I'm going to tell you, there wasn't much to say. I'm watching the game, or you're watching the game. Did you see anything happen? They're not even throwing hits. There is no offense, no defense, no hits. It's not like Tampa looks great either. It's just sort of a puck flipping competition there. Oh, I'll get it, and then you get it. Oh, now we got to break away. It's Gergenson's. And a great backhand, but a better save by Stolarz. Puck goes out to center ice. 21 seconds left to go. Nylander receives the pass on the backhand. Tried to get it across to Riley, and this perfect pass to Riley, and he can't receive it. 9 seconds to go. Matthews trying to get the puck out front. Shoots! Stetcher with a shot. Please. And that's the end of the period. Guys, I'm going to do as many streams as I can. Because I think I'm going to be doing streams in the playoffs anyway. And I never do Leaf games. Steve does the Leaf game playoff streams. But I got to tell you, I am hoping we get a couple of fun games before the playoffs. This game, let's just call it what it is. This game sucks. And it isn't just that they can't complete a pass because whatever. Like, you're seeing what I'm seeing, right? This system sucks just as much as it did beforehand. John Lee says, breathe, Adam. We must get through it. Oh, God. I feel bad for Drew. He's not even a Leaf fan, and here he is having to watch all these games. He's doing tonight's game. He's doing Saturday's game. At least Saturday's games against the Senators. That'll be fun. Drew. Drew just went, whoa, in my ear. Like, oh, man, the electric Senators. Henderson Galbraith says, we'll give you the 2 points if you promise to make Florida suffer. I can't promise you that. Nobody up front is tough. You guys are way tougher than we are. Way tougher. Ian Ball says, SDPN needs to invest in the Adam AI bot to save the man's vocal cords. You know what? I actually feel a lot better. I've done a lot of talking today, but I feel like I'm a lot better than I was last week. Kriska says, what do you think the Pens do at the deadline? If I were the Pens, I would add at center. And I like Armageddon is coming for the Penguins. Not this season, but we know one day Crosby's not going to be there anymore. We know that after the season, Malkin could not be there, may not be there, probably comes back. But what if he just goes, you know what, screw it, I'm going to retire? He could do that. So what they did with Gerard was really smart. Like Letang has fallen off. We know that. It was coming. Carlson, I think you probably hang on to now. But I think Kyle's in the let's rebuild on the fly sort of situation. And I think he's open to drafting. And I think he's open to trading those picks. He's got 16. I think it's rounds 1, 2, and 3. He has 16 picks over the next 3 years. And I think he's got 40 picks in the next 4 drafts. So, yeah, like there's going to be some new, fresh faces in Pittsburgh. I think at this one, like, again, if I were to just be like, oh, I'm Kyle Dubas and I'm going to raid the Toronto Maple Leafs, man, wouldn't a Nick Waugh look good on Pittsburgh? Or Scotty Lawton, just in a depth role, center-wise? You know, depending upon what Crosby's health situation is, I know he's going to miss 4 weeks. Do you need help on the secondary in terms of like your second or third line in terms of a player that you can re-sign, like a Bobby McMahon could work? You know what I mean? I'm just spitballing, but I think the Penguins could probably use a little more scoring. They need some speed, and they need somebody who's going to be able to move pucks. That's how Dan Mu's system works. It's a very move, puck, pass, maintain possession, right? So, yeah. I'm sorry it's not a better answer, but I think they're in a great spot. Sealibs, the Pens are headed to the same landfill the Red Wings went to after the Holland era. Well, except that they're going to make the playoffs. And Skinner looks good. Come on. Also, they got Archer Seeloff Saturday night. I like him. Drew, what clip are we playing? What roster changes the Steve Dangle podcast would have made if we had been the general manager? How about that? We're going to play that for you right now. And then I'm going to see you at the beginning of the third period, and we will grit this out like it's math homework, getting through that third period together.
I'm looking at some of the ice time from yesterday. I want to talk about roster construction because we talked about it a little bit. We talked about it a little bit before the weekend. And, you know, I know our good friend CJ over at the CJ show thinks, hey, this roster was great. You get to overtime in the finals. There's not much that you can do to improve on that. And respectfully, I disagree. I think, guys, this was a team that was so much better than what they performed. And I'm not just talking about this game because they performed very well in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But against the Czechs, went down early, had to come back, squeak through. Finns went down early, had to come back, controversial calls, squeak through.
Yep.
I don't think it's unfair to say that Team Canada needed some depth scoring. And without Josh Morrissey in the lineup, and again, no disrespect to Shea Theodore, their defense could not move the puck as well as it needed to. Drew Doughty, unfortunately, to me, looked every bit his age out there.
Yeah.
Brad Marchand, who I keep hearing is probably headed for surgery and may not finish the season, had his first, I think, bad game in his whole life. I didn't think he was great.
He wasn't very effective.
Sam Reinhart, guys, played 6 minutes, 6:57. This is the Selke runner-up.
He had almost
40 goals.
He had almost 60 goals. He had almost 60 goals once.
You do miss Cirelli, sure. You miss a Braden Point, no question. But what they did with Cirelli, defensive forward, they replaced him with Sam Bennett. That made sense to me. I like Seth Jarvis's speed.
Yep.
My issue was the lack of finish on the rest of those lines. There was a reason why McKinnon played 22 minutes, McDavid played 24, and Celebrini played 22 minutes. And it's because when those guys weren't on the ice, the chances of the team scoring, I know that Suzuki had a goal to tie it up. I know Marner had an overtime goal, but the chances of tying it up were just not there, especially without Crosby in the lineup. And the other thing I want to raise to you guys, they couldn't win a faceoff.
No. Well, I wonder a little bit about, you do got to throw a little bit of arrogance in there. Because John Cooper had, I think generally he was up and down, but he talked about the difference between 5-on-5 hockey and 3-on-3. I've looked up at that Canada box with all the management, all the coaches in there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who the best 3-on-3 players in the world are? If it's so different, John, and you're going to wax poetic about how different it is, then treat it like it's different. Which is to say, get Nick Suzuki on the ice. Are you out of your mind? If McDavid
And they don't start with Celebrini in overtime. He's leading them in goals.
Oh,
They could have put McKinnon Suzuki out on the second shift.
he on a team just stacked with stars. A lot of them didn't find their role, which can be a player problem, can be a coach problem. He rode his horses into the ground. And you'll always wonder if that had an effect going into overtime. You'll always wonder if 3-on-3 is so different, and of course it is. It's 3-on-3. You treat it differently. You know, they went to 3-on-3 3 times. They won 2 of them. You know, maybe this is just cope, but I mean, that was exceptionally bad. Every bad decision they could have made, they did.
Jesse.
Yes.
I disrespected Thomas Harley. He had a very good tournament.
Yes,
He did. Yeah.
When it comes to the face-off situation, that was the thing that surprised me the most. The fact that this group, I know Eichel and Matthews are just dynamite in the face-off dot. They always have been. But McKinnon, who is a career 54, 55% guy, McDavid's a good face-off guy. When you look at this roster, they didn't win, so you can't say it's perfect. What tweak do you think you could have made or would have made in retrospect? And it's a totally unfair thing to say, but that's what we fucking do.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I'm trying not to make too many grand proclamations about the roster just because McKinnon can't hit a wide open net.
Yep.
Like, I don't want to revisionist history too much of Team Canada because he just wasn't able to make one play that he's made a trillion times in his life. So if you're making changes to this roster, they have to be based on the entire tournament and not that one game.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd have to
That's why I think depth scoring
2030 and going to that and like, okay, what do we need more of? And I don't disagree that a player like Bedard would be more useful in this team. There's a more offensive-minded player. We all know his head coach had to come out and defend his defensive side of the game, but like that wouldn't be why you're putting Bedard on the roster. You'd be putting him on there to, hey, go shoot the puck. Like, go do some fun things with the goal, with the puck there and shoot it. So like, I definitely think if you're going to 2030, you think, okay, how do we generate more offense out of the top guys? Because he clearly leaned on them. And Steve, with the 3-on-3 overtime, they didn't get it done, and McDavid was ugly in it. But if you're not starting McDavid, McKinnon, Makar in overtime, you're getting to Gretzky not in a shootout.
That was their second go around, though.
It was, but you have to. That's all you got to do. Those are the guys.
No, it's 20 minutes.
You have to try and put those guys out there to win, because then it's the other side of it. And it's like, you put Nick Suzuki out there ahead of McDavid, even though That's probably the right thing to do. And if Gretzky's not the guy to put in the shootout, it's still absurd that he wasn't there.
I don't think Cooper would wear that, but we'll never know. One thing that is like just straight up true, the combination of Marner and Stone were so dynamite early on, and when they lost Crosby, I'm not making excuses for, if they had Crosby, they'd win, but Cooper didn't know what to do. And it wasn't about losing Crosby. It was about losing an entire line. Like Marner and Stone got lost in the shuffle. And I thought they had found a solution in Suzuki. He played him less than 11 minutes.
Yeah, he played Suzuki 10:31, Bennett 11:55, and Horvat 10:21.
And Marner got like 17 minutes just getting out there and hanging around.
Yeah, penalty kill, a lot of penalty kill.
A lot of penalty kill.
A lot of power play.
And they did
lot
a
of
good job
special
on
teams.
that.
But yeah,
job.
that's the fourth highest time on ice amongst forwards, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Mitch Marner did. But yeah, a lot of that's the penalty kill. And clearly John Cooper had, once the tournament got to the elimination rounds, he said, I have one line and 3 guys that can score, and I'm just going to hammer away at these guys. And that there, because that's a bigger sample size of like the whole 7 games of the tournament, you say, okay, we should have got him some different pieces that can actually put the puck in the back of the net. You know, so like I would have brought Zach Hyman. I think he would have been more useful. And Connor Bedard needed some serious consideration, because we know Doug Armstrong never even thought about this man. Like, I don't even know if he has Connor Bedard's number, because he said not even in the fall was he a consideration for this team. That's a little ridiculous.
It is. And the tournament sort of put things into perspective, not just seeing things play out, but numerically. Sam Reinhart's playing 6 minutes. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. Clayton Keller. Do you know how much Clayton Keller played in that gold medal game?
Go ahead.
He played 38 seconds.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. Noah Hannafin played 6 minutes.
38 seconds. Okay.
He got a shift.
How bad, how catastrophic of a defensive liability would Connor Bedard have to be that he couldn't give you 6 good minutes?
Even if you have him as a power play specialist. If you think that the reason his defensive numbers look bad,
Which is what Reinhart was.
Right. And Reinhardt's not a center. The thing about Bedard, he's not really though. Bedard's an always center.
Yes.
The reason Bedard's numbers look like shit on defense is because he is up against, like, his coach isn't wrong, although I don't think his coach is the greatest coach in the world and probably isn't the guy to be criticizing Team Canada management, having won literally nothing at the pro level. But Connor Bedard plays the best players on every team every night. So for that not even to have been a consideration, that's the part of the Torino thing that comes back to me. And right. For the Torino team, for people that don't remember, because again, this is like Steve and I's last year of high school. That's how long ago it was. 20 years ago.
Damn.
The Torino team blew it because they brought old guys. And
the young guys that they did bring didn't play.
And the guys that they left at home it's embarrassing when you look at it. This tournament, to me, Steve and Jesse, what it drove home was guys like Marchand, who's clearly injured and is clearly got to shut it down at some point here, unless the Panthers go on some Cinderella run again. I don't think they will, because I don't think Matt Tkachuk's even fully healthy yet. Tom Wilson had his really good moments in the tournament, but ultimately,
he got lost.
Ultimately, in a game like that, non-factor.
I thought he was dynamite yesterday. Bennett was a liability. Marchand was a liability. And Wilson got lost.
I think it's a young man's tournament. I think that's the thing about the youth, right? I do think it's not a 30 to 35-year-old tournament. I think it's a 22 to 27-year-old tournament, especially when you have access to the best players in the world. That's got to be your core, and you augment with legends like Crosby. At the next Olympics, it'll be Connor McDavid. That's the older legend.
There's one guy who I don't even think had a bad tournament, but like when you put it in the simplest terms, is Drew Doughty one of the 8 best defensemen in Canada?
That's a loyalty thing. That's what I don't think. They got to get away from this.
In Canada.
No.
All of Canada.
No.
The entire country.
Steve.
We all know one of 8.
Evan Bouchard is better. We know.
I think the list is a lot longer than that.
I agree with you. But they brought him for, vibes, and he's been there before, and he's won gold medals and all that. But I think my issue, and this is where I think they ran into problems, was they had loyalty to people blindly from the Four Nations team. They had Hagel, they had Point, and they had Cirelli, and then those guys went down. So they're like, okay, we'll just bring the Four Nations guys. And they didn't change the defense at all. You have to look at, this is pro sports. You got to look at what have you done for me lately. It's so nice that 18 months ago, Austin Matthews scored 69 goals. Do you think anyone gives a fuck today?
No. Nobody
cares. They were saying before the tournament, all this guy's lost step. He's terrible, blah, 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 blah. Bad captain, doesn't know what Leafs are terrible. Look at what he's done to them. It is literally, what have you done for me lately?
We're just going to go right back to that, by the way.
I know. That's fine. That's an easy one to push. That for me is, I understand the loyalty on a human level, but this is a ruthless sport. And the Americans were pretty ruthless. Clayton Keller got 38 seconds. Kyle Connor did not play again in the final.
I didn't realize how little he played, because during the medal ceremony, obviously they all have their helmets off. And I'm like, his hair is bone dry.
Yeah, because he didn't play.
The one shift where I think it was Chris Cuthbert is like, oh, that's Clayton Keller. That was it.
Buddy, they scratched 40-goal scorer Kyle Connor. Again.
Yo.
That's what I'm saying.
What do they have against that, man?
I know. That's the part for me where I do think in games like this, where the rate of play, you will watch the Stanley Cup Finals in a couple of months' time, guys. You will not see a game played at that skill level.
No.
Because they're busted and they're just not as talented. That was the best hockey game I think I've ever seen in my life.
This week is going to be one of the worst hangovers in Canadian history. And it's a back-to-back against the Panthers and Lightning.
I know.
On the road.
Terrible.
Do I have to?
You do.
Oh.
Hey, did you like the thing you just watched?
Was it hilarious?
Was it informative?
Was it me?
John Schneider being interviewed right now. I'm going to take a Buckley's. Kush says, Adam doesn't know puck. He said, I'm here for Steve. Well, you're going to be really fucking disappointed because it's just me to the end of the game, Kush. And I do know puck. It's black and it's circle. And I know that this team stinks. Wow. I just texted a few group chats of people that I know who do know puck really well. And I was like, is it just me to Leafs stink? And they're like, they're bad. They're pretty freaking bad. Man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's a, let's see what they can do in the third here. But boy, have they stunk. It's a bad system. It's a bad management group. And I think it's the wrong coach. But we're going to go down with this ship together. Because we as Leaf fans, even when these guys are gone, we're still going to be here. When the players are gone, when the management's gone, it's going to be you and me. We're still going to be here. I'm excited. I'm just saying. Oh, shot by Hagel. Wow. I don't even know if Stoller saw that. I'm pretty sure it went off his helmet. Hey, you know what this team, the Leafs play hockey like how Buckley's tastes. I just had a Buckley's lozenge. And it tastes awful. It works. Only the Leafs, it tastes awful and it doesn't work. So then there's no point. Yuck. Brad says, no swearing, Mr. Wylde. My mom is watching. How did you get your mom to watch this? She's watching the Leafs play hockey and then watching a sidecast with it. I mean, how many sickos do we need in here? As many as possible, I think. But, yuck. This is bad. And a terrible giveaway. Stoller's was right there. There is no hope here. Remember, after this, the Leafs are playing the 5 worst teams in the Eastern Conference. And then they're going to say, hey, if they win a bunch of games, they're going to be like, you know what? Maybe we do have it. That would be the worst case scenario. You need these guys to lose. I don't like losing. I don't like watching losses. But I think we can all admit it'd be quite damaging to the Toronto Maple Leafs organization if they convince themselves that this is good. Like, I hate being in this position where I have to hope that they lose so management uses their brain. Crazy that we're here. Crazy. Gonzalez to point. Oh, Stolarz got lucky there. They missed it. Robertson dropped a nice little hit there on Moser. 17:07 left in the third period. Hey, we're already 3 minutes into it. Oh, wow. Kucherov with just a great goal on a great pass. I didn't see who passed it to him, but that was sexy. Man, it's nice to see the Lightning are back and ready to play some hockey. Leafs are not ready. They're back. They're not ready to play some hockey. Now, I don't know if you can hear this. I have a bit of a bit of an asthma attack coming on for no reason. So I'm going to take my puffer right on screen. You just have to deal with that. You can blame it on Nikita Kucherov. Great pass from point to Gonzalez. Or I keep saying his name wrong. Doesn't matter. Kucherov looks like he's like, why am I even playing? Why am I even playing? I don't even need to do this. I'm embarrassing these guys. Sabres are winning too. Yeah, it's because the Sabres are good. Sabres are good. Crazy to me. Crazy. A lot of Mary saying sell, 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 sell. Yes. Yes. Robert said, well, maybe they should sell. Robert, email Brad and tell him to sell. Brad? Mixed Heart Production says, Adam, stop lying. You're here for Tampa. It's true. You've discovered me. Tampa Bay Lightning fan, Adam Wylde. In fact, hang on one sec. One sec. Look at me. Look at this. Ha-ha. I don't even like this jersey. Well, you know what? I said I didn't like the jersey. I actually like it a lot more. I'm Tampa Bay Lightning fan, Adam Wylde, in my Stadium Series jersey. I actually do like it. I do wish this had been the patch on the front of the jersey, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Let's go Bolts. Look at this bum, Morgan Riley, and these bum Leafs. We're kicking their ass. Tampa Bay Lightning FR. Adam Dangle here. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Is this what it feels like to cheer for a winner? Feels pretty powerful. Like an electric charge through your balls. Heather the Ash fan says, my Portuguese friend pronounces it Gonçalves. I know it's Gonçalves. I just have a pronunciation issue with it. Kozlov says at this stage, 3-0 is embarrassing indictment of the lack of effort by Tampa in this game. It should be at least 7-0 by now. Kozlov, you're forgetting that it should be 5-0 actually. There was a couple of offside calls in the first period that called back goals. So actually, it should be 5-0. They were pretty close offside calls too. They weren't egregious. Oh, Bolts, am I right? Drew said, what do you think Austin's thinking? I think Austin's thinking, I'm going to have a chat with Brad in the offseason about this horrific roster he constructed. I might even have my agent call the president and go, hey, yeah, so I'm not going to ask for a trade yet. I'm going to give you guys about 18 months to sort this shit out. But if you can't, we got to have a discussion. Like, it's not fair of Austin to ask for a trade right now. They've made the playoffs 9 years in a row. They've done right by Austin. Austin has never had the big playoff moment. He had the big gold medal game moment, primary assist, played some great defense. Never had a big playoff where he like took the team on his back, though. The team has given him the chance. Leafs just got a penalty. But you know what? As a Bolts fan, I'm thrilled about it. I'm so excited. I'm so pumped about the is Matthews mad? Boo hiss, go to the box. It's Kucherov o'clock. Ashkova says, before a fire sale, they probably need to sit down with Matthews and ask him if he wants to be a part of a retool rebuild. If the answer is no, well, I don't think they're going to fire sell. I think they're going to fire sale and buy, which is what they should do. You have Austin, you have Willie, you have players. You have players you can build around. You need a defenseman who can run a friggin' power play. Okay? You need some younger guys. But I mean, that's me as a Bolts fan talking. What do I know? All right. I'm just a man who loves living in St. Pete's and traveling over the bridge to Tampa to see my hometown Lightning take on these bum-ass Leafs. You know? That's all I'm saying. Producer Floridian Drew says, you sure hate those Panthers. Oh, they make me so mad. They actually do make me really mad. Ooh, can't believe that Aaron Ekblad elbowing Hagel and Point. Jerk. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Bolts fans, it's nice to be one of you now. I love that we're on the power play. Isn't it great? Trevor says St. Pete's found the imposter. What do you mean it's St. Pete's? I go to the IndyCar race in St. Petersburg every year. All right? All right? Big IndyCar guy. I do love open wheel racing. I won't lie. You know what? Listen, let's build the new character. Bolts fan Adam. What would Bolts fan Adam Wylde look like? What kind of personality would he have? Who would be his favorite player? You're calling me Snowbird, Adam. That's fair. Ashkova says, hey, you look good in Bolt Blue. I appreciate you. Thank you. Jared says, it would be really cool to see you guys in Orlando one day, but it seems Steve has no interest in my country or state, which, while I understand, still hurts given the way it was framed. Love you. No, it's not. It's not like that. It's the administration. Let's just call it what it is. It's the government right now. Love Americans, love America. It's not about that. It's just the president doing the 51st state thing. That's, as you can imagine, kind of off-putting, right? Eric Vincent says, welcome to Bolts Nation, Adam. I welcome you. Thank you, Eric. I've been here my whole life. I've always been a Bolt fan. Oh, good save there by Stollers on my favorite player, Jake Gensel. Sorry, I'm trying this on. By the way, 13 seconds to go in my team, the Lightning's power play. All right. Oh, good save by Stollers. Jake Costello, Adam, I'll give you $5 if you can name the bridge you just said I crossed going to Bolts games. I have no idea. I can't remember. I've spent some time in Tampa St. Pete's, but I cannot remember. It's a bridge, right? Meme Empress says, you're now contractually obligated to do this every time the Bolts play the Leafs. Somebody just said, Adam, your sweater is a shocking blue. You might even say it's electric blue, like that song by Benson Boone. Denise Campbell, did you see the HR Pirates new kid got? Denise, I'm not sure I understand your super chat, but I would love to. If you could rewrite it, that'd be great. It's the Golden Gate. Is it actually the Golden Gate? It is not the Golden Gate Bridge. That's in San Francisco. One T City says, I expect Bolts pajamas on the next STP. Who do you think wins tomorrow between the Leafs and everybody's favorite team, the Kitty Cats? Kitty Cats. I think it might be the Cats. And they're bad, but the Leafs are bad. The Leafs are depressing. That's what the Leafs are. The Leafs are like what the Ducks were a couple years ago, where they just played this styleless, boring, bad game that was not fun. It's the Howard Franklin Bridge. There you go. Well, I always knew that because I'm Bolts fan Adam from St. Petersburg, Florida. Okay. All right. Adam, who is on the back of the jersey? There's nobody on the back of the jersey. Adam, it's not St. Pete's, it's St. Pete. Fine. As a Bolt fan from St. Pete, I would know that, wouldn't I? Dallas Goodman says, so glad to have you. As your new personality, you have to annoy producer Drew and remind him that the refs won the 2022 Conn Smythe. Go Bolts. Drew, we now go live to Floridian fan Drew, or Floridian producer Drew, for his commentary on Dallas Goodman's Super Chat. Drew, tell us what you think. He said, all you Tampa fans, he includes me in that, are so salty. And then he said, eat caca. Eat poo. You guys going to take that from him? Smokewater18 says, is Bolts fan Adam friends with Steve's hat guy? Yeah, Bolts fan Adam is mad that Steve's hat guy ripped off my bit, okay? He learned everything that he ever knew from me. From me. Tool fan, is Adam streaming Tampa for the playoffs? Secret Tampa fan? You know what? I might. I normally do the West Coast games, but I could do an East and a West Coast team. What the hell? Trevor says Bolts fan Adams knows we would have three-peated if we had Point. That's true. That's true. Drew? Sorry, it would have been a three-peat if Point had been playing, so. Drew is breathing heavily. Drew was ready to argue that. Irish Can says this team makes me sad. I wish I could see them care. I don't need them to win every game, but just show that you care. The Tampa Bay Lightning care. That's who we're talking about, right? It couldn't be the Leafs, who clearly do not. Man, I sure love being a Bolts fan. Look at my favorite player, Jake Gensel, making more good plays. Denise Campbell, the massive home run yesterday. Poor ball. Oh, I didn't see it, Denise. I have not seen the home run yesterday. I did not see it. Matt says, good night, Adam. The game is very bad, and I don't want to continue the pain, but thank you for the stream. Well, Matt, thank you for being here. Bolts fan Adam, thanks you for being here. And you know what? I'll do it again next week. We're going to have some fun. We're here to have a good time. Dallas Goodman says Tampa is on the Gulf Coast of Florida, the West Coast. Yes, it is. It's in the Gulf of America, also known to the rest of the world as Gulf of Mexico. Gulf. Drew went to Tampa once, and it was to go to Legoland. Is Legoland fun? That was gonna be way more fun. Okay, so it is just completely Lego for kids, right? Yes, it's a theme park. Sounds like a lot of screaming. Meme Empress says Fraud Kidden couldn't even hit the net. Oh, Drew, they're coming for you big time. They're coming for you big time, buddy. He said he hit the net in game 6 against you guys losers. How dare he talk about our Bolts who should have three-peated like that? How dare Drew? How dare Drew talk about our Bolts? Simone Benoit passes the puck over to Carlo. We are 9 minutes and 30 seconds into this period, and the Leafs are offside. Bradley says mentally these teams are not in the same league. Leafs really lack leadership and have no confidence, going through the motions, hoping not to lose. I don't think you can leader, and I've said this time and time again on these streams, and I'm telling you honestly, not as Bolts fan Adam, Leafs fan Adam says this. You can't leadership your way out of a shitty system and a bad roster. You can't. Austin's just going to be like, you know what, guys? How about you decide to be good at hockey? Here comes Hagel. And the Leafs took another penalty. I mean, as a Bolts fan, I'm thrilled. It's so bad. It's such a bad team. This isn't a leadership thing. These guys know. They're not stupid. they know what we know, which is, and they have to convince themselves that actually it's not that bad, but they know. They know this team stinks. They know they're not good enough. They know the system stinks. And it's difficult. You guys have ever had a job where you know that the team you're on kind of stinks and you're doing the best you can to stay motivated, but it's hard? I have. And you do your best. You go, okay, you know what? I'm going to push through this. I'm going to figure it out. Whatever. No. Meme Emperor says, I don't think producer Drew is. I don't think producer Drew knows what year it is. You know what would be hilarious if Tampa and the Avalanche met in the finals again? That'd be great. I think everybody would like that. I don't want it to be like Tampa. No offense to Carolina. I don't think it would be as fun if it was Carolina. Drew says he'd like a tougher matchup. Who in Drew? First off, just getting into it with the Lightning fans, but also what matchup would you like? Because like I look at the Eastern Conference and I'm like, who's a tougher matchup than Tampa? Tampa's easier than the two in the division that the Avs have to play, so he doesn't care. I think it's going to be Tampa, Avs. I would love a rematch. If the Leafs can't be in the playoffs, let's have some fun. Crash Test Vita says, but effort is a leadership thing. It's not, though. That's a self-motivation thing. And there's only so much. Like, do you think Wayne Gretzky in his prime could help this team win? Sure, he could help them win a few games. This team stinks. Like, think of the best leaders you've ever seen in the NHL. And you're like, let's put them in there. They stink. These guys stink. Trash Panda says, Drew, the Canes will take you in 6 games. Ooh. Yeah, Drew says they'd have to make it past the East Final first. Hey, listen, I have a team that hasn't been to the East Final since I was in high school, I want to say, maybe even junior public school. So I don't know. I can't relate to any of these discussions. Meme Emperor says, anyway, Leafs are really bad, eh? Yep. And there's Kucherov making another play, and he's kind of mad that he didn't get his 4th point of the night. Alex says, just tuning in now, resuming right where we left off, right? Leafs having a bad season? Sure are. That's why I'm a Bolts fan. Look at these Leaf bums. Bolts fan Adam. Don't forget. St. Pete is where I live. St. Petersburg, Florida. It's where I'm from. Adam, your Bolts Arena is only 40 miles from Blue Jays spring training. I know. Down there in Dunedin. Oh, man, that was a crazy angle by Yanni Gord. And then another shot on Stolarz, which he has to hold. Now the Tampa Bay Lightning are out shooting the Leafs 33-24. Wow. How depressing it must be to be a Leafs fan. Thank God I'm not one. Trash Panda says, I meant the Canes would take your dusty Bolts. Oh! Wow. Alex says, no. We bleed teal here. I have my Sharks jersey in the club thing. I have a Will Smith jersey. I should have got a Macklin jersey, but Jesse got one. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be different. I'm going to be a cool guy. I got Will Smith. And producer Hayden had 2 teeth pulled today. He said, I quite literally had 2 teeth pulled today, and it was more enjoyable than watching the Leafs. Yeah, glory, hallelujah. Yeah. They're bad. It's bad. This is bad. But we're going to have fun. Drew said, are the Leafs going to win tomorrow night in Florida? I don't know. Like, we're all going to die. Does it matter? Yeah, I mean, they could. But they're not good. Oh, Drew wants me to ask the 8-ball. All right, Magic 8-ball. You saucy minx. Tell me something. Are the Leafs going to make the playoffs? Magic mother effing 8-ball, who's been a sassy Sassy 8-ball all year long. Very much like a crazy attitude. My sources say no. Not sassy, pretty straightforward. Dallas Goodman says, tell Drew that McKinnon was crying about the too many men was adorable. Honestly, also a trigger for me. Oh, well, he'll forever be known for missing the net. Ooh. He said, it's blatantly too many men. I don't care. All right. Kyle says, one must imagine Leafs fan happy. Yes. Okay, now let me ask you this. What's the other question you wanted me to ask, Drew? Will they beat Florida? Will the Leafs beat the Florida Panthers? Reply hazy, try again. All right, Magic 8 Ball. Come on. Jeez. Shaking it up here. Will the Leafs beat the Florida Panthers tomorrow night? Here we go. My sources say no. Oh, cool. Great. Good for us. Good for us. Good. Wow. You know what? The 8 Ball's been extremely accurate this season. I'm not going to lie. It has. It's been more accurate than you'd think. Talenseer says Captain Matthews can lead a team to gold medal, but he can't lead a team to Lord Stanley. That's because the team around him sucks. 23 Plaster, I'm honestly wondering why I'm spending time watching this game. Sorry about the negativity, but holy hell, something please. Brad, give me back Minton. You know what it is? You know what we need to do, guys? We need to have fun with this. We need to, I know it sucks, but we got to find some humor here, which is why I'm Bolts fan Adam. I do think like you gotta, Leaf fans, if I were to advise you because I'm a Bolts fan and I can't relate, I think you gotta have a sense of humor about this. And I know that's hard, given that this team is literally the definition of go girl, give us nothing. But you gotta kind of try to work it in somehow. Gallows humor, dark humor. You're watching because you love self-torture. Right? You're watching because your life is so good that you feel like, I feel guilty for how good my day-to-day life is. So I watch the Leafs so I at least feel like I got a little bit of punishment today. Dallas Goodman says 8 Ball has been accurate, unlike Nathan McKinnon. Ooh. Ooh. Michael says, thanks for the new episode of the STP. God bless Canada. Go Saginaw. Sam says, hey, Adam, I wanted to show my support for you guys. Following you for a while. Great job with the pod today. I don't get out of the U.S. much, but I am glad to hear from others. Thanks. I don't get out of the U.S. much, but I'm glad to hear from others. Thanks. Hey, thanks for listening, Sam. Listen, I don't expect everybody to agree with everything we said on the show today. You know, I am, in all seriousness, I come from a Canadian-American mixed background. My dad's Canadian. My mom's American. A lot of reverence and love for the United States. I love the U.S. I don't like what's going on right now. I think you guys know that about me. Some of you probably do like what's going on right now. I disagree. But today's show was, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't looking forward to doing it. I don't think anybody was. It was an exhausting last couple of days, just watching all that shit unfold online. Almost maybe wish Canada won the gold just so people in the States wouldn't react this way. But all the same, you know, the news cycle moves fast. We'll all move on. And one day, Trump won't be president. And I think maybe our relationship between the two countries has changed slightly, but I feel like we can build it back up. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. I'm a positive, hopeful person. And I love Americans. It's just I don't love that administration. And I don't have to. As a Bolts fan, though, as a Bolts fan, I like watching my team win. 6:02 left in the third, by the way. In case you're wondering, nothing's going on in this game. Nordique says, I'm a Mets, Jets, Knicks fan because I'm from New York. I love the Leafs after living for 7 years in Toronto. I get it. Leaf fans gotta know they're not alone. And Nordiques just dropped a $2 super chat. Don't have the thing. I don't know what you're trying to say, Nordiques, but I'm happy to answer it, whatever it is. Dallas Goodman says, love Canada like Nathan McKinnon loves missing open nets. All right. Straight up, that was funny. I respect it. Listen, like I said, even with Team Canada, if you're going to lose, you got to have a sense of humor about it. Imtiaz says, Bolts fan Adam, what are your thoughts on Lightning legend Nick Paul not making Team Canada? It's criminal, I say. Criminal. Michael Lab says, I'm a Dolphins fan. Sorry. I watched Leaf fans so I can see the pain from the other side for once. Love y'all and F that Orange MFer. Listen, whatever you guys think about the government and thing, I don't want that to be the focus of the chat. Because again, that every one of these eras ends and we still have to work together. And we still should be friends. So to me, like, let's not let somebody that neither of us really know that well, whoever you voted for. I don't know these friggin' people. You don't know these friggin' people. Let's not let that be the wedge between us. You know what I mean? We don't have to agree on everything. I don't need that. Just treat each other with respect. Canada has not been treated with a lot of respect lately. You can admit that. Treat each other with respect. Have some fun. Watch some friggin' hockey, a game we all love. And I guarantee you, we agree on more than we disagree on. Like, we probably disagree on like 6 or 7 things. They're big things, but I would think most things we agree on. Alex says, I only watch hockey now because I'm convinced the game will be revolutionized when Bettman retires. You know what? Pre-Bettman retiring NHL and post-Bettman retiring NHL will be very interesting. I don't know that the product on the ice changes that much, but damn, the politics of the business side of it will. Leafs have pulled the net. Oh my God, the Leafs have pulled the goalie with 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go. As a Bolts fan, what a gift. Kriskara Feninsky says, in your opinion, are the Leafs a well-run organization? Well, as a Bolts fan, I would tell you that they're not as well-run as my Bolts. No, being all deeply serious, no, I don't think the Leafs are in a good place. I don't think they're run well. I think they're indecisive. I think their coach is not on the same page as their general manager. I think their CEO is frozen in time. I thought Keith Pelley was going to be decisive. I really did. I thought this guy, I knew him from Rogers. Like, I worked under him, and he was quite decisive there. He was the guy that brought the national hockey rights to Rogers. And he's a guy that with big vision. I know that. There's no vision here. No vision. Terrible. This team stinks. And their future's been mortgaged. They're in the worst possible spot. Jepper says, I'm half American, lived in States my whole life, and half Canadian, and I love the show as a lifelong Leafs fan. Thanks, Dad. Thank you, Jeppers. We love you too. James says, trade everyone not named Nyes. Buddy, I'd trade Nyes. For sure I'd trade Nyes. Just be for what? For what? You gotta have something massive coming back, I think. JMB says they all sat at home relaxing and they come out looking like this. Embarrassing. Yeah, they should be embarrassed. And you know who should be really embarrassed? Leafs management. All right. My Bolts are on the penalty kill. Let's see how they do. Tool fan says, what should they legalize next? They should legalize the Leafs being decisive. 6-on-4, ladies and gentlemen. 6-on-4. Let's go. Man, Dallas Goodman is really going at Drew. Canada tried to invade the U.S. when undefended, fired all their missiles, but they missed their leader because their leader was General McKinnon. Just kidding. I love your message, man. Thank you, Dallas. Appreciate you. Sam says, as a Bolts fan, you probably like Charles-Edouard Dastus. I don't even know how to say his last name. Dastu? Great offseason pickup from Europe, and he has helped through injuries. Great story, too. I'm going to have to look him up. I don't know a heck of a lot about him. But I will say this, the Leafs could use some pro scouting like the Lightning do. I do think in terms of pro scouting, the Avs and the Lightning are among the best two teams in the league. They like Vegas goes out and buys the best players. The Lightning and the Avs. Here we go. Nylander over and Nyes a stick. He either broke the stick. No, he didn't break it. He just fanned on it. The Avs and the Lightning find guys that fit in their system. I don't know if you guys watch football, but the thing about the Patriots dynasty that was the most annoying for me is they would pick up some friggin' cast off wide receiver, plug him into the system, and he would be like among the league leaders in yards the next year. Some guy they picked up on waivers. And by the way, it looks like we got a 3-on-1 now. And Gensel, my favorite player, is going to. Oh, Gensel puts it off the post. Well, something went the Leafs' way tonight. Gensel should have scored there, but he put it off the post on an empty net. That's funny. Tavares should score here. Yeah, and he did. Tavares breaks the shutout. The Leafs are back in it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a Bolts fan. Anyway, like you pull Wes Welker out of your butt and you put him in and whatever. Leafs win, Leafs score. Yay. That's what the Patriots were able to do. The Avs do that. Like the latest example is Malinsky. The Lightning are masters of it. What do you mean Darren Radish has 40 points this year? Who? Darren Radish has 40 points? The Lightning are so good. Lightning are so good for that. Ha! Gensel, man. Not only did he hit the post, he wrecked Vasilevsky's shutout. Shame, 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 shame. Drew said, maybe I'm the problem because I said Gensel's my favorite player, and look what happens. And he's cursing at the bench. He knows. He knows. He literally did, like, I hate to say it, he kind of ruined Vasilevsky's shutout there. Dallas Goodman. Can we have Nyes so he stops killing us? 2 firsts. Yeah, Nyes does not like it's. Oh, there you go. Braden Point scores. Oh, the comebacks. The comeback's off. My Bolts sent a message. The Leafs score, and the Bolts score within 10 seconds because the Leafs don't know how to focus after scoring a goal. You'd be shocked at how many times that happens, guys. You'd be shocked. Dallas Goodman is now a member of SDP VIP. Dallas, you should sign up for SDP VIP ad-free. Gets you all the episodes early, no ads. Sexy. That Leaf fan that was cheering about the 2 goals being disallowed is just having a bad night. Oh, it's kind of crazy. This entire era of the Leafs, the Matthews era, they have been really good at a couple of things that are bad. Too many men calls. They've been really, really good at giving up multi-goal leads. And they're also really good at scoring a goal and then allowing goals like 10 to 15 seconds later. I don't know how they do it. Robar says Bolts fan Adam is better than Oilers fan Steve. Well, Bolts fan Adam is more authentic. Morgan Riley, baby. Morgan Riley. Not great on defense. Nice. Oh! Nice scores! From the blue line, he catches Vasilevsky napping and got him right between the legs. Leafs are back in this. What are my Bolts going to do? Games are trade Morgan Riley to the moon. I don't know if they have the cap space. How did this go in, by the way? So just Nyes just kind of, oh, wow. Smart play. You know what, Dallas Goodman? You're right about Matthew Nyes. He kind of does get you every time he's there. Dallas Goodman says, in the nicest way possible, Drew, I hate you. Gensel. Gensel! That is, and the Leafs have now called a timeout. Wouldn't it be funny if the Leafs mounted a comeback against my Bolts? Held says, as a Lightning fan but SDPN supporter, this is a night I enjoy. I'm glad. This hockey's awful. Mr. Spock says Vasilevsky is still pissed to have lost the shutout. I don't really blame him. Nordiques41 says, how does this era compare to the Tannenbaum pension plan era, in your opinion? So the pension plan was really bad because they didn't give a shit. They didn't care about the Raptors. They didn't care about the Leafs. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but there's a very famous article came out about 15 years ago, which looked at major cities in North America who had mostly major league teams, like 3 to 4 of them, right? Like we don't have an NFL team in Toronto, but we've got MLB, we've got NHL, we've got NBA. And they basically, the Leafs were terrible. The Raptors were terrible. The Blue Jays were terrible. And I think they named, of the 30 cities they profiled, they named Toronto the worst sports city. Not for the fans, but for just how poorly run the teams were. And that was the pension plan era. 2 of those 3 teams were owned by the Toronto or the Ontario Teachers Pension Plan. And I know this from an executive that I know that worked for the team at the time, high-ranking guy. Here comes Tavares. Nyes doesn't shoot. He just passes it. And look at that. Leafs have 2 minutes, by the way, to tie this up against my Bolts. And basically what he told me was no one gave a shit. They didn't care if they won. They didn't care if they played in the playoffs. They just cared if the team gained value every year, and it did every year. And they ended up selling it for a fortune. Heather the Ass fan dropping 10 SDPN memberships. Thank you, Heather. We love you. Check out SDP VIP. Upgrade to VIP ad-free. VIPs come out every Friday. That's an extra episode every week. But if you want to upgrade, it's just $2 extra, $6.99 a month. Get you a completely ad-free episode. And it comes out earlier than the episodes with the ads in them. Just saying. Talent's here. There's enough time to get this game to OT for the Leafs to lose. Yeah. Let's go. Tavares. There's not really a face-off winner. Okay, Point finally gets it. Ekman Larson at the blue line. Down low to Domi. Domi gets it down, but then Radish kind of gets in his face. Puck skirts around. It is out. Oliver Ekman Larson collects, waiting for the guys to come offside and reload. They don't even bother skating hard. What a friggin' joke. If I was a Leafs fan, but I'm not, so I'm loving that. 1:15 left. Matthews through the neutral zone. To Nylander. Shot. Vasilevsky does not fall for the Nylander shot. Stays up high, makes a good save. Chief Meany says, fun fact, this season Kucherov has more games where he has 3+ points than games where he went scoreless. Dude is an animal. He's the Hart Trophy winner, right? Like, it's pretty obvious he's the Hart Trophy winner, right? Drew says no. Who do you say, Drew? Nate Dogg? Drew says if San Jose gets to the playoffs, he's giving it to Celebrini. That's true because it's most valuable to your team, and San Jose would be nowhere without Celebrini. Drew says he's got 50 more points next to the next closest player. It's true. Oh, the Leafs get a couple of rebounds there. Vasilevsky just kind of stands still. McMahon. Hey, listen, at least the last minute's been interesting. Michelli. Back to the point. Riley to Matthews. Fake shot to Robertson. Robertson moving back to Matthews. Matthews gets his pass intercepted. Passes over to Michelli. Michelli passed to a wide open McMahon. Puck bounced over his stick. 35 seconds left to go in the game. Matthews back to the point to Riley. Michelli down low. Out front. Matthews with a bunch of guys who are on the second and third line. 18 seconds to go. Now, you're not going to come back against my Tampa Bay, my Bolts. Bolts fan Adam here. I can't wait to do my Bolts FR after the game. And that's it. Hey, if you waited all Olympic break for some great hockey, you should have watched Olympic hockey. That was not a great game. But Nikita Kucherov looks dialed. Braden Point looks dialed. And the Leafs look like a bunch of guys who strap on their skates a few times a week. Should we do a Bolts FR tonight, Drew? You want to do that? You can edit 2 videos instead of 1. Lucky you. Drew says no. Drew says no. This, you know what? I will say this. If there's a positive, if you're a Leaf fan, if there's a positive to be taken from this game, it's that they lost. Because if they had won, then we'd have to start to have the conversation about whether they were going to buy at the trade deadline. Let's not have that conversation. Let's stop it with that. The next 5 games they play are against teams who are unbelievably worse than them in the Eastern Conference. The 5 worst teams in the Eastern Conference are the Leafs' next 5 opponents. And I would be shocked if they won 2 games. I would be. So, listen, I'm going to let you all go because Drew's got a long night ahead of him. His Avalanche are playing, and he's got to do Steve's LFR. I'm going to go home. I'm going to take this Bolts jersey off. It was fun being a Bolts fan, guys. Appreciate you welcoming me into the crew. And I appreciate you being here for quite literally one of the most boring games any of us has ever watched. You all are passionate and you're big fans. And I know, big fans of these teams, by the way, I know that you didn't watch this game and go, wow, what an astounding entertainment product. It was awful, but I love you. And I will see you on a stream next week. And I will see you Friday on the STP. And Drew is going to go watch the Avalanche. Now, I encourage you to do the same. Go watch a real team. I mean, you watch the Bolts tonight. They're a real team. Go watch the Avs play hockey. That's going to be good. If you want a refund on your night, finish it off with the Avs. That's a good chaser. Drew, anything else to add before we go? No? All right. Drew says no. Robert, thanks for doing such a kick-ass job with the chat. Chat, thanks for being so much fun. Dallas says, this was fun, Adam. Thanks. Drew, feel free to miss an open net. Love you all. See you on Friday for the STP and see you next week for a stream. I don't know which game yet. Steve will have the next one too. Ottawa Senators, Leafs Saturday night. Love you all. See ya. Bye.